Mr. Brooks, I'll advise you once again, if there are any specific requests for either instructions or categories instructions that you want this court to consider, please write a note to pass to the bailiff.
This
who can
fool.
let me know.
I wasn't even gonna go live, but like I'm watching this and I'm like, my mind is blown right now. Like he's straight up built a fort to hide behind, like a toddler. This is killing me right now. Yeah, this is phase fuck it. It's like this dude at this point like he's yelling and cussing right now, but you can't hear him because now she has him muted. Like she's done completely with his shenanigans, with his antics, and behavior in the courtroom. She's just had it. Like at this point, the judge is just moving on with this case. I mean, she's not even like, it's not even a question of like, okay, well, I'm going to find him guilty, blah, blah, blah. It's not up to her. It's up to the jury to find him guilty. She doesn't even care if they find him not guilty at this point. She's just like, I'm not dealing with this dick anymore. This is incredible. I've never seen any shit like this in my life, dude. I've never even like heard of something like this taking place in the justice system. This dude absolutely has trolled the justice system beyond the capability of trolling. It's insane. Oh, so his mom was supposed to testify and now she decided not to? That does not surprise me at all. Like, look what he did to her car, bro. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm not trying to minimize that he destroyed her car with human people, but look what he did to her car. Lux, welcome. Like she's over it. Mom has got to be over it. Mom has got to be like, I'm done with this fool. Like I've done everything that I could. I supported this person long into his. I mean, he's tried to be a rapper, and and then what does he do? He throws a temper tantrum, and the worst possible temper tantrum that anybody could ever throw, and he mows down a bunch of people with my car. Like, I'm done with this dude. I'd be embarrassed, bro. Like, if that was my son, I would be mortified.
My review, I noted.
I couldn't even like embarrassed. Doesn't even. It's not even the word. Not even close to the word. Words that might need to
be removed. But why don't you go through and tell me?
He's got a mask on, and it's only him and the bailiff in that room.
Page by page, and just tell me what page number and what section.
So I think
He's
the
got a
first
mask
concern
on
I
and it's
have is
only
with regards
him
to
and the
bail
bailiff
jumping.
in
I
that
know
room.
we had charged, there's two
And he's hiding
separate
behind a
felony
box.
cases. The defendant was out on bail. And I do believe it would be assistive to the jury to have the specific case number. So when we first talking about 61 of 107, we start talking about the bail jumping, and then we go specifically on page 63 of 107, and when we could talk about count 74 and 75, I think it might be helpful to put the Milwaukee case number, because they are different case numbers, so that they know exactly what they're finding, that he was out on bail and that as conditions of his release. And those bail bonds were entered into evidence.
Margot, I agree. He totally just took the mask off to intimidate his witnesses. I agree. Like the mask is so weird that he's even bothering with it.
The information.
And then just because I think this was just well, I guess I'll have you, when we look at the verdict forms on page 102 to 107 for the bail jumpings, there's verdicts for the bail jumpings for 3 separate counts, 74, 75, 76. I don't think there should not be one for 76. I believe that should be the battery.
That would be true.
Now he has to sit there. Now he has to sit there and listen to people talk about him like he's not even there, which is awesome. What a moron, bro. And at one point she was saying that he was screaming at the top of his lungs. Yeah, Judge Jenny is not having any more of this. She's over it.
My computer's just acting up a bit, so I'm going to search. I'm going to see what the information says. And then I'll ask Mr. Brooks if he has a position on that. Sometimes it's easier if we just list out, I guess, what
I promise that I already know the
changes
answer
are
to that.
requested. I'm going to
Sure.
make some notes and then we'll go through
Just
them one by
for the
one.
record.
So
And I
first
don't
is
believe it
page-
was spelled out in the amended information.
Say that again?
I don't believe it was spelled out in the amended information.
Right.
So that would be page 63 of 107, whether or not we want to put the specific case numbers.
I can tell you right now, I typically like to follow the information, so I'm probably not inclined to do that, and we can argue that though to the jury, but
Okay.
let's go through the list and then we'll get
Okay.
the defendant's responses if he's would like to give us those, but we'll go through the whole list. So that's the bail jumping.
Yep. And then with the verdict forms with regard to the bail jumping, just to put on the record, page 102 of 107, I believe there's a count 76, which details it as a bail jumping. I believe that should be the battery.
All right.
I did notice on
Well, Julie Porter, I honestly don't know. That's actually a good question.
the motive instruction was incorporated on page 5 of 107. And I know that intent is an element of the battery. I don't believe that was incorporated. I mean, usually it's a standalone instruction. I think the court incorporated it with the first degree intentional homicide because certainly that was.
So I'm cold, so like I
think
got a
that's part of the
blanket around
pattern
me.
instruction.
Oh, it is. Okay, then we'd ask for motive. I think that there's a 175 instruction that could be given as a standalone.
I'll look at that. Okay, we'll add that.
And then on page 65 of 107, which is the 70, the preliminary instruction, defendant proceeding pro se. There's the standard paragraph, which is the first paragraph listed under this instruction, and then there's an additional paragraph. We are going to object to that additional paragraph. I think it highlights the defendant's.
I'm confused as to where we're at because I didn't start
so I
watching
asked
this
that
at the
be
beginning,
taken
so
out.
I don't know. Like, closing arguments haven't happened yet, I don't think. I thought this was over. I was watching it earlier, and then she was just like, I'm gonna like this. She dismissed the jury for the day. So I don't know what's going on with the trial right now.
All right, I made a note of that. Keep going.
Okay, with regard to page 106.
Oh, he's
and
looking at like
107,
6 life sentences back to back. Death penalty.
I believe that
Mesh
those were
penalty.
add-ons at the end that the court wanted to question
Doesn't
the parties
matter.
about.
Yes.
I believe
He's
that
gonna
there
get
was
buried
325
under the
should be
jail.
given. One of the witnesses for the state did testify. He did have one prior conviction. I believe a witness for the defendant testified that he had a number of convictions. With regard to that same page 106 of 107, instruction 141, where identification of defendant is an issue. I don't know if it is an issue. That wasn't raised during the defendant's closing arguments. His opening arguments. I would know that, or note that the defendant would sometimes cross-examine people on if they were able to see the person driving or the description of the person driving, and he would cross-examine them as to
Are they an
ability
entity or a
to
real person?
perceive that. So I guess that would really be up to the defendant if he wishes that to be given.
This guy sucks.
On page 107 of 107, instruction 172, circumstantial evidence, flight, escape, concealment, the state that was included in the initial instruction that we requested, and I would continue to request that instruction be included.
It's really just flight, though.
Correct.
What's that number again?
172.
And like, he's hiding behind those boxes, like objecting to everything, but nobody can hear him.
I saw it.
I mean, they can hear him.
But
We
only
just can't hear
I
him.
need to correct
They just
that.
don't give a shit what he's saying at this point.
All right.
And I would say concealment to some extent, because he took off some clothes that would have identified him. But again, his running away, his trying to conceal
No,
his
he's a
identity by
person.
removing some clothing that
Oh,
would have
no, you're
been-
right. He's
was
not a
identified by
person,
many
but a human being.
numerous witnesses
Right.
as him wearing a hoodie or a light colored top.
Those are all, and do you have any requests as it relates to instructions that are not in the packet that should be?
No, Your Honor.
All right, let me turn to Mr. Brooks just to get whether he has his list.
Here we go.
I'm not
Here
asking
we
for a
go.
response yet, Mr. Brooks. What I'm asking you for is whether you have any requests for jury instructions, or if in your review, you think anything needs to be changed, deleted, added, etc. I know I'd ask that it be put in writing, but I'll also give you this opportunity to verbally advise the court.
Look at
and
her
make your
facial
request.
expressions
Do you have
like,
any requests as
fuck,
it relates to
I gotta
jury
let him talk
instructions,
now. Fuck.
I would note he put 2 boxes right in front of where he's seated, so I can't presently see his face. I see his jacket is off, so I can see the outline of his arms, and I can see the jacket on the back of his chair.
All for the record, people. She's describing what we're
He's
seeing
unmuted.
for the record.
I've
Like,
confirmed
all of his
previously
behavior is being
regarding the
documented in
audio
detail.
Working, and I will just ask him a second time, sir, do you have any requests as it relates to the draft packet of jury instructions, whether that be any additions, corrections, edits, or
This
deletions?
is insane.
And Your Honor, would it be possible for the bailiffs to just move the boxes off the table so
Yes,
we
I
can?
think that's fair. I'm gonna advise the bailiff to remove the box so I can see.
Yeah,
Mr.
bailiff,
Brooks.
can you get in there and
I don't know what he's doing behind
wreck the toddler's fort, please?
He has quieted down. I haven't heard him in a while.
Can you not remove my fort? I object to you removing
You
my
can move
fort.
the second one because it can interfere with the microphone as well.
I object to you removing my fort.
And the third one. Mr. Brooks, I'm going
Why you
to
gotta
ask
take my
you for a
boxes? Why you gotta
third
take my
time, do you
fort?
have any requests as it relates to the jury instructions?
What happened to my fort?
Any
Can you bring my
requests
fort back,
for
please?
instructions that
Please
aren't
bring my fort
included
back.
That you believe should be included.
I was hiding
any
behind that.
edits
Thank you.
Or deletions from the packet that has been provided to you.
Hey, why do you tell them to move my body?
Because I couldn't see you, sir.
Or what?
I've asked you twice now, and I'll ask you a third
Oh
time. Do you have
my
any
God,
requests as it
bro.
relates to the jury
This dude is
instructions?
killing me.
Additions, deletions, edits, or
Hey
otherwise?
man, you don't gotta talk to me like that.
You don't gotta talk to me like that.
Do you have any requests
First of all,
related to the
First
jury
of all-
instructions, sir?
man, yeah, I got requests. It ain't like they gonna be honored though. 'Cause
As it
nothing
relates
I've
to
been
the
finding.
jury
As it
instructions,
relates
sir, what
to
are
the
you-
I heard what the
jury,
hell you
dude.
said, man.
Mr. Brooks, that was very disrespectful.
What'd he say?
Yeah, and I've been getting disrespected since the beginning of this whole process.
Disrespectful.
I heard what the hell you said, man.
Mr.
I'm
Brooks,
tired of my rights being trampled on here too. I'm tired of it too.
do you have any requests as it relates to the jury instructions?
Ain't nobody understand why I'm frustrated.
Nobody gives a fuck why you're frustrated, dude.
What you think
No, she has not held him in contempt yet. Like he can declare a
I understand you
mistrial.
may be upset, and I really do,
No, you
but
don't
I've made my
understand nothing.
determinations.
You don't
I could be wrong, folks, but I think that he can declare a mistrial if she holds him in contempt. And that's what he's trying to do. And she has been strategically avoiding this. She has not held him in contempt yet.
You don't understand nothing. You don't
He's accused her of
understand
it,
anything, Your Honor.
but
I'm going to mute him again because he's not answering the questions that I'm very clearly asking him. And I've given him 5 opportunities. Mr. Brooks, do you have any requests as it relates to the jury instructions? I'll unmute you for that answer.
I can't hear everything you're saying.
wow.
Mr. Brooks, I know the audio's turned up. I believe you can hear me. You've chosen not to put the headphones on. That's your choice.
I'd be
My
like,
final
bailiffs, can you all hear me?
question to
Okay,
you,
then he can hear
Do you
me
have
now.
any requests as it relates to the jury instructions?
I just told you, am I muted? Am I muted?
No.
No.
I just told you, I don't know how many times, I can't hear everything you're saying.
Then you should put the headphones
What
on.
about that? Don't you understand? What about that? Don't you understand? You see headphones?
Dude.
Everything, you can see boxes, but then you see headphones.
Have you asked for headphones to be provided, sir?
I shouldn't have to ask for them. I didn't ask for my boxes to be moved.
No,
Believe
your
they took
boxes
them
were
away
moved as a
previously because you were
courtesy.
so agitated, they were perhaps afraid you might break
Yeah,
them.
I'm still agitated. I ain't gonna stop being agitated.
Wow.
That ain't gonna stop. You sit up here and do everything you're doing and think God don't see what you're doing.
Yeah. Because this behavior is really
Mr. Brooks,
helping
do you have
us
any requests
believe
as it
that you
relates to
wouldn't
the jury
maliciously
instructions?
mow
I can
down
hear what you're
people.
saying. I can hear what you're saying.
You just told me you didn't. So which one is
Yeah,
it?
I got the headphones on. You can't see that?
What are your requests as it relates? What are your requests as it relates to the jury instructions, sir?
Man, don't try to come with this whole little image of sir. Now it's all this sir and all this. I'm gonna get where I'm going.
Yeah, prison. You're going to get to prison. That's where you're going.
Worried about what's going on with me. You don't give a damn.
No, we don't give a
Mr.
shit
Brooks,
about
you're being
you
disrespectful
at all.
again.
You've been being disrespectful. You've been being disrespectful.
I need to know what your position is regarding the jury instructions. And I need to know it now.
What you mean? Who you talking to?
Position. What you
I'm
mean?
talking to you.
From
I need to
behind?
know whether you have any requests
What
as it
position?
relates to the jury instructions, sir.
Yeah, first of all, why am I charged with 2 bail jumpings when I was already charged in Milwaukee for the same bail jumping? That's double jeopardy.
It's not double jeopardy. Your objection is
It is
noted.
double
It's
jeopardy.
overruled.
It is double jeopardy. How you gonna charge me with the same charge that I'm already charged with? You can't do that. The Fifth Amendment says.
I don't understand.
That
My position with the jury?
somebody
You mean like reverse cowgirl? What are you talking about?
twice. I'm already charged with the same count in Milwaukee. For the same case. It's the same bail jumping charge. So how am I charged with that here?
Sir, I'm not going to provide a legal explanation other than to say I've reviewed that. Your objection is noted, but the jury will be instructed regarding the bail jumping.
It can't be because that's double jeopardy. Under the law, if two charges are identical in nature,
You're not being charged with a dickhead.
you cannot place me in.
They're not recharging you, dickhead.
Can't do that.
The jury's allowed to
What's
know
your
what your
next-
charges are.
Case number.
What your past record
request,
is.
next request, sir? I'm noting your objection.
And just so you know, the jury still doesn't know that he was charged with
I
what was it?
understand your position. I'm saying it's
Statutory
overruled.
seduction. This jury still doesn't know about that. The jury still doesn't know that his girlfriend was a minor. His baby mama was a minor when he knocked her up. The jury still doesn't know that.
That is double jeopardy. You can't charge me for the same exact.
You're not being charged the second time, dickhead.
That I was charged with before this even came about.
Sir, the bail jumping charges in Waukesha County are based upon your violating your bail while in Waukesha County by driving through the Christmas parade and allegedly killing 6 people and injuring 61 others.
Oh, okay. So he is being charged with
That's
it.
the distinction.
Again,
It's a separate charge, though.
It's the same charge.
No, it's
the
not.
same offense. It doesn't mean it's the same factual basis, sir.
Right.
He is not
It
charged
is.
with bail jumping with the data violation of November 21 in Milwaukee County anywhere. Further, the double jeopardy prohibition would prevent him from being convicted twice, not charged twice.
All right, so we've addressed that, sir. What other requests do you have as it relates to the jury instructions?
I want to know why I'm even charged.
I want my boxes back so I can hide behind my boxes. My boxes make me feel safe. Give me my boxes, Judge. Give me my boxes.
So you can't essentially say, oh, well, because you were already on bail, we're gonna charge you.
It's a different data violation, sir. The conduct for the bail jumping is related to the allegation that you committed a new crime in Waukesha County while out on bond.
While
about the
out on
Milwaukee County
bond.
Case.
Yeah, but I'm referring to the first bail jumping.
So he was on bond when he committed this crime.
I'm referring to one of them.
So how's that not a violation of
My
his
understanding,
fucking?
sir, is there's different dates of violations as it relates to that. So I've noted your objection now repeatedly. I understand it. Your request to
what?
dismiss the bail jumping counts are denied.
I didn't say nothing about counts. I said one.
Whether it's one count or both, it's denied.
Am I not being understood? You can't charge me with the same charge twice.
You're not
It's
charged,
two separate
dickhead.
cases, sir. There's two.
Isn't that
I mean, you're charged, but it's a different charge.
Isn't that the statute? That refers to the double.
All right, sir, I'm not going to have an argument.
Yeah,
This
you're not
isn't
being charged
fruitful.
with the crime that you
I
were on
understand
bond
what
with. You're being
saying, so
charged
there
with
shouldn't be 2
violating
counts
the
of bail
bond.
jumping. You believe it's double jeopardy. I disagree with that. They're separate.
Right. No, it's a total moot point too, Lauren
This
B.
is a
Like,
circular argument.
he's got a
sir.
lot
It's-
more to worry
doesn't
about than
change
a
the fact
bail
that
jumping
from
charge.
my
This dude is
perspective,
looking
the
at 6
2
life
bail jumping
sentences.
counts are going to proceed forward. There's been sufficient evidence presented to warrant the
6
jury being
life
instructed.
sentences. Dude, this dude is looking at thousands
What
of
other,
years
what other,
behind bars.
what other requests do you
Thousands
have,
of
sir?
years
Don't
to a
talk over me.
sentence.
Just like you don't want me to talk over you. Just like you don't want me to talk over you. Just like you don't want me
Mr.
to
Brooks,
disrespect
what
you.
other
Because
requests
everything I
do
say-
you have?
And I just asked you not to talk over me.
Wow.
You've been making
What's up,
your
Scott
record
Joyce?
The whole time you've been over there. You had me muted. I didn't see no requests over there. I didn't write nothing to go over there. I let you do what you was doing. No matter how egregious and biased it is, I let you do what you was doing.
she StreamYarded his ass.
Because we both know that what
I'm
you're doing
muting
is
you.
not right.
Mr. Brooks, I'm going to refocus your attention to the jury instructions.
You can't-
All of your objections are noted. I
Oh my
understand
God,
that.
bro.
If you can't answer my question, I'm going to move on.
You can't. I haven't given you consent. Just like
All
I
right,
didn't
I'm
give
going to
you
mute
consent
him
to
once
say-
again. He refuses to answer simple questions regarding if he has any requests.
Hey, dude,
He just
she's
made
a
an argument
judge.
regarding the bail jumping.
She doesn't
so
need your
clearly he
consent.
has an understanding about the law
She
as it
makes
relates to that.
decisions.
It may be a
That's what she's there to do.
misunderstanding about the law and double jeopardy, but he made an argument. I've denied it. I'd like to know if he has any other requests. If he can stay on topic, I'll mute. I will unmute him again, and he can tell me the list, just like the state went through a list. I need to get through their list. I'm asking you to list out all your requests, and then I will take each one up in turn. So here is your opportunity to give me your other requests, not debate with me about prior rulings. Go ahead, Mr. Brooks.
Don't sit up here and try to play no games talking about you giving somebody an opportunity. Because
Wow.
you gave me an opportunity to properly defend myself and put evidence, put stuff into evidence. Which I've asked.
This guy's a fucking moron.
Before we even got to this right. You told me you wasn't
Like,
giving evidence very
he
first.
can't even act accordingly
Mr. Brooks,
after
do you have
being
any other
removed
requests
from the
as it
courtroom.
relates to the jury instructions? This is probably the 10th or so time I've asked you this question.
No, it's not. No, it's not. So please stop being incorrect, Norman. Please stop.
Do you
Please
have
stop.
any additional requests as it relates to the jury instructions?
Yeah.
Oh.
That first
Yeah.
You can't charge me with two things. You can't charge me with the same charge twice.
All right, I've made a note of that. What's the next
Either
issue?
one county gonna charge me with it or y'all, but it can't be both. It's the same. It's for-
Mo, I agree. Like, at this point, the judge, I would just be like, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Fuck the bail jumping.
Why are we getting the jury
Granted.
instructions on two cases from another
Like, who
county?
gives a shit about
I've
the
made
bail
a note of
jumping?
that. What other requests do you have?
Man, this is ridiculous. So I'm not even able.
It is
to
absolutely ridiculous.
defend myself, present evidence, do anything. Because everything I say is.
Yeah, he's trying to force control Lauren B.
What are we doing here, Your Honor? What is the
Mr. Brooks.
Here for? Why should I be here when
I've made a note of your request as to count 74. Do you have any other requests as it relates to the jury instructions?
Why are we even having jury instructions? Why do I have to even sit here in this courtroom at this point? Because everything you've been doing without my consent anyway. So you're gonna find a way to do this without my consent.
You're on trial for
Your
fucking
objection
mass
for lack of
murder,
consent
bro.
is noted
Like,
for the record.
you don't get to
Any
consent
other
to
requests,
anything.
sir?
You talking big game to save yourself enough space. But everything got put up that has no merit in your court. None.
All right, I've asked him many times. I've advised him, and I'll advise him once again. If he fails to answer the question, I'm moving on. Do you have any other requests as it relates
She's
to the
moving
jury
on.
instructions, sir?
Moving on.
All right, he did not answer. So I'm muting him again. The only request
Mute.
that he has made
Mute.
as it relates to the jury instructions, as he pounded his fist once again, raised his voice, I understand, I really do, that he's upset with my decision to cut off his ability to present a defense, but that decision was made based on his conduct and his conduct alone, as I've outlined already on the record. So the only request that he made was as it relates to the bail jumping counts. I'm denying those requests, whether it be to dismiss one count or to dismiss both. On
Yeah,
double
like
jeopardy,
normally,
or to just not instruct the jury.
Courtney
However
Spees,
way I interpret
your
it,
comment, I'm
denying
going to
that.
elaborate on that.
Right, let me go through the state's.
I would absolutely agree with you
Sure,
on
I'm
that
sorry.
because
154 summary of evidence.
a lot of times I'm
I
like,
believe we
well,
had a
the woman
map,
has the choice.
Actually, two
But
maps
the
that
mother of his
summarized
child
the,
was a minor. So he
we had 3 maps. I
basically
think the one was
manipulated
summarized his
her.
route. The
She
path
was
that
a
he took.
victim from the
The other one
beginning.
summarized the victims.
The
who
mother
were
of his
instructed in
child
specific locations.
Was a victim from the
And
start.
The other one summarized the positions of the law enforcement officers at the various intersections and throughout the parade routes.
She's always been an abuse victim.
I'll
Constantly.
make a note of that. I don't believe I saw the jury view instruction either.
He's a predator.
I mean, that was given to them at the time. I don't know that it needs to be reread, but I think we need to consider that as well. And that was my version of 152. All right. So
Oh,
let
is
me
he
go
building a new
through,
fort?
the
Okay. You're not going to stop me
list
from building my fort.
from the state.
I'm going to have my fort.
Turning to page 61.
Basic doo-doo.
So I've considered the request by the state. I am going to rely on what information they put in the charging document. I'm going to deny the request to include the specific case numbers. There's evidence, of course, that was received regarding the 2 separate cases out of Milwaukee County that form the basis for both of the bail jumping counts. It will be up to the jury to review the evidence and make a determination.
He's
as
still
to the
talking.
verdict forms, though, that were referenced previously, at least the description
He's
of
still
them in the jury
talking.
instructions that obviously the third account of bail
Well,
jumping
don't
is
literally
incorrect. It
die,
needs to be
Kelsey.
battery, and that change will
I don't
be
want that
made.
on my
I'm
conscience.
also having Madam Clerk include all of the numbers for the jury instructions when they go back, so it's very clear. Some of them did not have them on, just frankly from prior cases that she and I have worked on, but in this case, I want to be very clear with all of the numbers. So I think I've addressed the first 2 bullet points. As far as the motive instruction as a standalone, I believe that is appropriate. And I'll instruct Madam Clerk to include that. As far as where it goes, I'm going to just, any instructions that we add should just be in the numerical order. Unless there's a other request that's made. Then the state also made a request as it relates to jury instruction 70, which is found on page 65. So as it relates to this, the state is asking that I
I
simply
can't with this dude in his fort, bro. It's killing me.
instruct the jury based on the pattern instruction and not include that second paragraph. I had previously advised the jury with another paragraph that I was contemplating including, even if I took out that big paragraph that just said,
Like every time they pan the shot to him, I'm like,
must not influence your verdict in any manner. What's the state's position on including that, but taking out the paragraph you request to be taken out?
It's fine.
Mr. Brooks, do you have any position on that? Which is
My position is behind my
jury
fort.
Instruction 70 has to do with the defendant.
I will be
proceeding
building
pro
a moat
se.
during
The pattern
recess.
instruction would be basically the first paragraph. I need the bailiffs to move the boxes away from his face. I need to be able to
You don't
see
get to
them.
have
He
your
can keep
fort,
them on
bro.
the table, but they need to be moved off to the side. And if he does it one more time, then I will instruct the bailiffs to take the boxes away. Those are trial prep materials. If there's something in those materials related to jury instructions, he should take those out now. Otherwise, they need to be moved away from the microphones and away from blocking his face.
The bailiff's a babysitter, bro. This sucks. The bailiff's a babysitter, dude.
Mr. Brooks, do you have any position on the verbiage of jury instruction 70 on page 65?
Don't ask me no questions, he says.
Are you my accuser, Your Honor?
All right, he's choosing not to answer, so I'll mute him again. It's unfortunate that he's deciding not to participate
It's
in this.
beyond unfortunate, Your
I agree
Honor.
with the state. I don't need to highlight with that second paragraph. I will take that out, but I will include in the paragraph that reads, at times, comma, Mr. Brooks has appeared from another courtroom, period. This must not influence your verdict in any manner.
Oh my God, dude. Totally insane. Totally insane. I've never seen anything like this in my life, bro.
Inclusion of the instructions that
Like,
were
do you guys
written on the
realize
last
that
couple
the
pages.
OJ trial is known as the
Include
most craziest
325
high-profile
impeachment
trial
of
ever?
witness. Its prior
This has
convictions
taken
about
that.
juvenile adjudication should be struck from the heading. And it should read, evidence has been received that one or more witness.
This is
in
collecting
trial
all the
has been
awards,
convicted
bro.
of a crime. There were 2 witnesses that was applicable to. The remainder will be as
Like,
it
if there
is.
was an award show for craziest fucking case,
That was 1 witness for
like,
the state, 1 witness for the
this
defense.
case is walking out with
I
statues.
just will add that if
Just
Mr.
like
Brooks has any position
their
about
arms
his
full of
request, he should,
statues, dude. Like,
he is currently muted. He can raise his hand and I'll unmute. Otherwise, he can pass a note to the bailiff or simply tell the bailiff, who can then tell me and I can unmute him. But unless he tells me that, I'm going to assume he's made a decision not to provide further comment based upon the last statement he made to me. Then 141, I believe that's appropriate given the evidence that has been received. That's on identification of defendant is an issue.
Your Honor, I would like a
I will
blanket
instruct the
to complete
jury
my fort, please.
accordingly, unless there's a request from Mr. Brooks to take that out. Is there a request from you, sir, to take 141 out? I'll unmute for that purpose. It's found on page 106 because it's at the end of the instructions. This is the instruction on identification of the defendant and where it's at issue in a case. I believe it's appropriate given the testimony in this case.
Oh, Stephanie Lee. Yeah, totally.
Do you
That
have any
was like
position on
an
that, sir?
awesome moment.
You are
I
unmuted,
loved
so
it.
you can simply answer yes or no. No response.
Now he's quiet.
Then,
Now he's quiet.
172, circumstantial evidence, flight, concealment. I believe it's appropriate
Ganja
given the
Fairy,
evidence that
stop
has
it.
been received
Warm
during this
milk.
case. Yes, sir.
Am I unmuted?
You have been.
Am I unmuted?
You are.
So how long before you mute? As soon as I say something?
Oh my God, dude. Just say what you got to say, bro.
Depends on what you say, how you say it, and if it's responsive to what we're doing.
Exactly.
Why do I have to be responsive to what you guys are doing?
Because you're on trial, you
Nothing
dickhead.
I say even matters at this point. So what's the point of me being responsive?
Because you're on trial, dickhead.
Mr. Brooks, I'm going to mute you unless you can participate in what we're doing, which is discussing the jury instructions.
I'm going to send you to your room and you don't get to build a fort.
I'm gonna tell the jury the truth. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell them what hasn't been told to me. I haven't been able to.
Mr. Brooks,
even
as
present
I'm going to
evidence.
mute you because we're trying to discuss the jury instructions, not what you're going to say during your closing argument. I will get to that later. In terms of instruction
Julie
172,
Porter,
I'll
yes.
instruct
I don't know where
clerk to
Cherry
take
is,
out of the
but
heading the word escape.
Cherry would call him
Should
a
you say flight
muggy
and
cunt.
concealment?
A muggy little cunt. He's acting like a muggy little cunt.
And then I've reviewed
A
154.
muggy little twat.
I believe that's appropriate. I'm going to pull it up just as a draft. I'm not sure if there's anything that needs to be. So the pattern instruction talks about a chart. Is there any request from the state as to just keep that or modify that in any way based on the evidence that was presented?
Fucking
Because you
wanker.
actually submitted
Fucking
maps and these were
wanker.
received. I don't know that summary.
I think that there was a summary of the victims and the associated counts. I believe that that was exhibit 141.
But that was received, wasn't it?
And there were some charts of the extreme dance team. The formation. And
Stephanie Lee, that still hasn't been established. Like, he's never presented any like solid defense. His strategy has been to deflect everything in any way he possibly can.
Do you have the exhibit list, Madam Clerk? What are those numbers again? I wrote 141.
We're just looking for the extreme dance and dancing granny charts. Grannies is 54. 54 would be the dancing grannies,
What's up, Joe Nathan?
and 33 is the extreme dance team.
So 54, 141, and 33.
Yes.
The extreme dance team. What?
Do you think the use of the word chart is correct, or should that be?
I would say diagram and maps. The court has allowed the use of diagrams and maps to organize the evidence.
The maps were evidence, though.
I wasn't even
What
gonna
this
go live, Joe
instruction
Nathan.
says is the
I wasn't
court
even
is
gonna
allowed
go
to
live,
use
and
a
then
chart
like
to organize the evidence
this
and
shit
assist
just
in
got so
understanding
crazy.
it. The chart itself is not evidence. It is a summary of some of the evidence that was permitted or presented. However, it is the evidence that controls. You should rely on the chart only to the extent that you believe it accurately and properly summarizes.
Oh, okay. The
evidence.
dance team he
Then we
ran
think
over.
154
Thank
should
you,
not be
Terry
there.
A.
That's what I was wondering.
Because
So
they were all admitted.
they were all admitted based upon how they were presented and the
I apologize.
testimony regarding them.
That's so fucked up.
Typically, where that comes in is for use in openings and closings solely that are based upon.
He ran over a
evidence,
group
and we
named the
anticipate
Dancing
those
Grannies.
things
Oh my
coming
God,
out
dude,
when
bury
there's
this
been
dude
an
under the
actual
prison.
document that's been admitted. So I don't think 154 is needed, and I'll deny that request. What about
Tim Tarman.
152
What's up, dude?
regarding the view?
As I read that, that was given prior to the view, and I think that was appropriately given at that time. I don't believe it goes into the closing or the.
That's so fucked up,
final
Heather Bishop.
instructions.
That
Would be
was
position.
my inclination, but I wanted
Lock
to
this dude away forever.
get the party's position on that. I'll once again unmute Mr. Brooks and just ask him if he has any position regarding any of these last issues that we've discussed with, as it relates
Dude,
to the
like,
jury instructions.
I feel like
Anything from you,
his
sir,
sentence
on the jury
on
instructions?
top of being locked up forever, like there should be like an airplane scene. You remember the scene in Airplane where everybody just lined up to smack the shit out of that person
He's
acting a
not
fool?
responding to the question.
Like you see one of them like had a fucking torch and another one had a
Believe that
revolver.
covers all of the issues
And-
that were raised by the parties then?
Just give everybody that's
You
been
are. I'll
subjected
give
in
you
this
one final
courtroom to this
opportunity
bullshit
tell me if
a
you have
chance
any
to smack the
requests as it
fuck out of
relates
this
to the
guy.
jury instructions, sir.
Everybody has earned it. Do you consent to my
I
hand
understand,
across
sir,
your face?
Objections noted. Your lack of consent is noted.
Okay, I don't see what's going on in here. So how is this being made without me being able to consent to it?
Sir, you forfeited your right to be present in this courtroom by your
Forfeited.
conduct, and you have not requested to come back.
Actually, you took a break. So let's make sure the record is correct. You took a 10-minute break,
I did.
at which time I was brought back into this courtroom.
I was advised you wanted to stay, sir.
Okay, and you've been forcing me to come over here from the get-go. Why couldn't you force me?
Oh, she's gonna need therapy after this, Julie Porter. Like she's
Sir, you-
amazing.
My understanding
If
is
she
you
doesn't like
requested to stay in the other
work,
courtroom. I thought I put
if she
that on the
doesn't like
record
have to
at the
go
beginning. If I did
get
not,
work
I'll put
through this.
that part of the record now. I was advised by the bailiffs that you were requesting to stay in that courtroom. I certainly advised you prior to that if there was a time you wanted to come back in, all you needed to do was ask. You've done that previously.
Tim Tarman, exactly.
And during,
If
and
you have people
even-
that work under you,
even during
absolutely.
this
Yes,
time,
your
though,
lack
you've
of
been
consent
incredibly
is noted.
disruptive. During, I mean, at one point you were muted for an extended period of time and you were yelling so loud, sir. We could hear you in this courtroom. I couldn't decipher what you were saying. And I was also made aware
The
that
defense
another
in this
branch
case has
could hear you.
reached
So
phase.
you
Fuck
continued
it.
your disruptive behavior.
That's fine, because at the end of the day, I should be heard. I have the First Amendment right to be heard. So if I'm gonna be
I
constantly
mean,
muted, the only way for me to be
by
heard is for me to
by
raise my voice.
Bullhorn Betty standards, yeah.
Mr. Brooks, one final time,
But
do you have
no.
any requests as it relates to the jury instructions? Otherwise, I'm going to approve them. I'm going to take a break and then we'll come back in the afternoon to go over verdict forms.
I didn't answer yes or no, so how do you consent to anything without me answering the question?
Are you going to answer the question, sir?
But you can't force me to do it. You can't just say.
Thank you, Evil
Sir,
Ashes,
but you
Tales
also
of
can't
History's
stall the
Famous
proceedings by
Burglars.
failing to answer.
An appointment with a 6D mag light for Darrell Brooks will
I
help him
never
shut
held
up.
you in contempt.
That's funny, actually.
All right, I'm
that
going to
you
mute him once
that you
again
use
because
the
he refuses
mag
to
light
answer
as
a
an
very
example.
simple question.
I've had my jaw
about whether
broken
he
with a
has
mag
any
light flashlight
requests as it
before.
relates to the jury instructions.
It wasn't fun.
I will work on making all
Those
the
things do
changes with
damage,
Madam
like
Clerk,
for real damage.
finalizing the order, print them off again. She has been working on the verdict forms, which are of course separate, which need to be approved by this court. So those will be printed off. A set will be provided to the state. A set will be provided to Mr. Brooks. We'll take an, I'll do a 90-minute lunch break. So it's 11:27. So we'll come back at 1 o'clock to finalize the verdicts and the jury instructions.
And Your Honor, with regard to sequestration of the jurors and the alternates and those issues, did you want to address those this afternoon?
Yes.
Okay.
We can do that.
Thank you.
I can put on the record.
Yeah,
that
they're
I
good flashlights,
had
but they
the
also
civilian
break
jury
jaws.
bailiffs provide the parties.
Like
We have a letter
mine.
regarding sequestration. There's an emergency
That shit
contact form.
sucks.
So all of the jurors were made aware of that. They know that. Of course, once the case is, all of the instructions are read and the parties make their arguments, and then there's some final instructions at the end, and the case goes to the jury. Obviously, only 12 of the 15 will be deliberating, but we can make a more full record of that this afternoon.
Thank you.
All right, we are in recess until 1 o'clock. I'm just instructing the parties to stay until the handout of the verdicts, and then you can leave for lunch. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, this dude at this point, like he isn't doing jack shit to help himself at all. Like he's not doing anything to help himself. It's insane. There's absolutely no I mean, if there's ever a trial, like if anything goes his way in this trial, like at the end of this, I'm gonna lose all faith in the justice system altogether. Well, I mean, don't they still have to make closing arguments? I'm curious about that. Like how, I mean, this should be over before the end of the week, I would think. I mean, it's Monday, so this should be over. What's wrong, Panda? What's wrong, baby girl? I just took you to the bathroom. Yeah, the closing arguments. I mean, and you're allowed to like go as long as you want with that shit, aren't you? No, his mother didn't come, Camry. His mother was like, nope. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bee's knees. Like, I mean, they still like they're still not privy to so much. You know, the jury hasn't heard so much. But at the same time, at this point, I feel like the jury has to have made their mind up about this dude by now. I mean, but keep in mind that his behavior does not make him guilty. His current behavior does not make him guilty, but at the same time, it's like, well, you know, he's not doing what his job is, which is to create doubt. You know what I mean? Excuse me. Like if I'm a juror and I'm trying to find doubt as in comparison to what the prosecution has presented, I'm not looking at it like, okay, well, I'm not sure about that based on anything that he's done, you know. Well, bee's knees, it's not up to him to provide evidence. It's up to him to create doubt in the evidence that the prosecution presents. But he hasn't done that. Onyx Angel, I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you. Like, it's crazy. I wish Chasing was here. I would totally cover this shit with her. It would be so much fun. Well, Dorothy McGuire, you're right. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's clear. Like, there's indisputable evidence against him. Like, he's on video, for fuck's sake. let's not deny that. All right. Before we even go any further, let's not deny the fact that there's indisputable video evidence of him driving that car through people. It's no doubt him. And his defense is, well, you spelled my name in all caps and I don't spell my name in all caps, so that's not me. What? No, dude. No. You're done. Like, if this, okay, let's put it like this. And I don't know shit about the law, y'all. All right. I don't know anything about the law. But if this defense somehow worked in his favor, I'm going to lose all faith in the justice system altogether. I'm going to be like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm going to demand that we go into a dictatorship. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to be like, okay, we need to like, I'm going to get to the point to where I'm like, this needs to just be a dictatorship. You know, like one judge, no jury, just, you know, make a decision and execute this dude, period. Because I just don't see how, I don't know, man. But that's not going to happen. What's going to happen is this jury is going to see right through his bullshit. They're already tired. They're already tired of having to go in and out of the courtroom. They're sick of this shit. I guarantee you this jury is going to come to a decision not in his favor quick. Yeah, I don't identify as the person caught on camera. Exactly, Christine. As Fort Brooks was taken down. I can't believe he built a fort and tried to hide behind a fort. It's so funny to me. Like, he built a fort, bro. Who does that shit? Who does that? Like, he literally stacked boxes. It was like 3 times. He literally stacked boxes and was like, I'm hiding behind the boxes. Oh my God, dude. This is the most insane thing I've ever seen. Like, it's going to take a second. These people want to go home. So a 90-minute recess. I don't know if I'll maybe I'll come back and go live again. I don't know. I'm supposed to I gotta go to the gym today. I have to do that. I don't know. We'll see. But I gotta go to the gym. At some point today, I gotta go to the gym. And at some point, I'm gonna have to cover this fucking bullshit Battery Betty shit. The clip channels have been killing it right now. Make sure to subscribe to Heels in the Air, Deets on the Street, Chronicles of the Shady. Make sure to subscribe to those because they've been doing some great coverage of that madness. And law enforcement in the Quentin Simon case, they're back at work today, I'm sure. And they're sifting through garbage, literally sifting through garbage. And to show them any disrespect, I find completely despicable. Camry 3, your comment here. Let's see. Blair BHB said she had a relapse in 2008. I thought she doesn't drink or do drugs. Well, we know she drinks, first of all. We know she does. So for her to claim to be sober now and be in some sort of recovery is absolute bullshit. Because we've seen her drinking. We've absolutely seen it. And if she didn't claim to be in recovery, I wouldn't give her a shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's God, like everything she does is totally disrespectful. It's disrespectful to victims. It's disrespectful to people in recovery. Like, it's all the way down to disrespectful to people in recovery, for fuck's sake. It's crazy. Julie Porter, that doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. You know what I mean? Like, if you're a fuck up and a total asshole, right? Every time you do some shit, and we see her constantly being a total asshole, and I don't even think it has anything to do with drugs or alcohol. I don't. That's what I'm saying. Is like you're splitting hairs. You're splitting hairs when it comes to drugs or alcohol. When it comes to BHB, it's ridiculous. It doesn't matter what she's on. What she has to do is come to terms with the fact that her behavior is victimizing people, and it's always victimizing people. She has a pattern of victimizing people. Her behavior is a constant pattern of victimizing people, whether it be a boyfriend that she lives with that she beat the shit out of, or whether it be a 20-month-old kid who she's costing justice being served to. It doesn't matter. I don't give a shit whether or not she drinks or does drugs. I don't give a fuck about that. Uh, I give a fuck about her behavior. I give a fuck about what she's doing. See, that takes guts. Heather Bishop, look at that. I have three. Heather Bishop says I have 3 DUIs and I can't handle alcohol either. I'm not judging her, but her behavior and lies needs to stop. Exactly. See what I'm saying? Like, it takes a hell of a lot to sit up there and put your shit out there like that, the way that you just did. And you're 23 months sober and another day, man. Good for you. Good for you, Heather Bishop. I'm not sober. I'm not sober, but I don't claim to be. You see what I'm saying? I'm not a fucking liar. You know? But man, Heather Bishop, that takes guts. Good for you. Good for you. But see, Heather Bishop is an example. I don't know Heather Bishop. I don't know her. But for her to sit here and say, I have 3 DUIs and I know that alcohol is bad for me. I should not be fucking doing that shit. So I don't. And who knows how those 3 DUIs have affected her life? I mean, who knows? Who knows who it's alienated? You know, who knows? So to have the strength to admit that she's had this problem and that she's working every single day to stay sober and be a better person, that is what I respect. Bullhorn Betty doesn't do that. She never does that. Ever. She acts like she's perfect. She acts like she never had a problem. Like, I mean, I've had problems, man. you know, shit. I had a confrontation. I had a confrontation with a SWAT team, for fuck's sake, and I have no recollection of it. I have no recollection of it. That's how fucked up I was when it happened. You know, and I decided to do better with myself. You know, uh I mean, you know, you got to realize when you're a fucking jackass. and whether you decide, at least realize when you're a jackass. You know what I mean? You don't have to like not be a jackass necessarily. I would recommend it, but you don't necessarily have to not be a jackass. You have to at least acknowledge the fact that you are one, right? And BHB doesn't do that. She acts like she's setting the rules for everybody, and it's shit. A school shooting in St. Louis today. Hold on, give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna look into that real quick. I was born in St. Louis, so this hits home, to say the least. Hopefully these ads. Well, hello. All right, so this is like a 15-second ad. Evil Ashes, thank you.
In Performing Arts High School this morning. The district says police stopped the shooter inside the school, and the shooter's now in custody. The campus still on
All right, they
lockdown.
got him.
ABC's chief investigative reporter Josh Margolin joins me live now on the phone with more. Those are the details, Josh, that we are getting from the district. What more do you know?
Honestly, we really don't have any more at this point. This all just happened. And obviously, from what they're saying, it started and ended incredibly quickly. It certainly seems that it was something that was a successful
St. Louis cops aren't playing
operation, or from the officials in the schools, because obviously what happened stopped. And at this point, fortunately, nobody has been killed, and it seems that there are some injuries. Hopefully, those won't
No,
be
Camry
too
3, according to
serious.
this, nobody's
We
been killed.
understand the injuries might not all be gunshots, which is, of course, the most important type of good news. But the one major takeaway is, we opened another week again in America with a shooting at a school.
Right, on the same day that we're talking about the
Oh,
the
come
school
on with the
shooter,
propaganda.
who is now pleading
Calm the
guilty
fuck down.
In Michigan on all 24 counts. And we were just talking that this unfortunately was going to happen again. But a quick response we know is really important, Josh. Most of the killing happens in the first few minutes, so it looks like police got there really quickly. Where does the investigation go from here?
Well, the first thing is, and we know this is going on, is they are sweeping the school. That's what they call it. They're trying to see if there are any other devices, God forbid, some sort of a bomb or something else, if there might have been other people involved.
How about we focus on the fact that nobody was killed?
Man or woman yet.
How about
So
that?
that's
How about
the
we
first
focus
part
on
of
the fact
investigation
that
has to be
police
done
acted
to ensure
quickly
that there
and
are
did their jobs?
There is no chance of additional
It's like
casualties.
damned if you do or
Then
damned if you
going
don't.
to do
You know what I
we have
mean?
now seen. Invariably, we will see a search at the home of the suspect. We will see investigators interviewing friends, family members, digging into a social media profile. What could have motivated this person? What has developed over the last few years, and actually speaking about the terrible litany of school shootings, today is 5 months to the day since that school shooting in Uvalde, Texas. So investigators have tragically become very proficient. They know how to look at these things after they happen.
Let me get on a rant here. I'm about to go on a fucking rant. All right. So Danielle says 2 killed and the suspect killed. Teen girl at school and 1 at hospital. And it's very tragic. But I'm going to say something here that that might be a little controversial. I'm glad the suspect is dead. Because I'm to the point, personally, my opinion, I don't give a shit about trying to understand these people. I feel like I already understand these people. I feel like I understand the fact that this is a social media age, okay? And these assholes all have this one thing in common where they're always trying to be social media famous. I say fuck them. I say put them the fuck down. Period. I say put one in their fucking head. Put a pill in their fucking skull and put them down. Make an example of them for the rest of everybody else who's thinking about doing this shit. Fuck them. I'm glad they fucking caught him and killed him. I'm glad. I don't give a fuck if he's fucking 16 or 62. I don't give a fuck. I say if you fucking enter a school and you shoot up kids, fucking kill them. Put them down. I don't give a fuck about trying to understand them. I already understand them. These are people who do not give a fuck about human life. They don't care about human life in the sense that it comes second, at least second, to them being social media famous. Fuck them. Put them the fuck down. Just put a pill in their fucking skull and nobody think about them ever again. That's what I say. And I'll never apologize for saying that. I do not care about their delicate sensibilities. I just don't care anymore. I just don't care about their delicate sensibilities anymore. I don't care about their psychological needs. I don't care about any of that. I think if you don't care about human life, you don't belong on this planet. You don't get to be with the rest of us. So kudos to the officer that put that fucker down. I don't know anything about this person. I don't know if they're a minor. I don't know if they're a disgruntled janitor that's in his fucking mid to late 60s or 70s. I don't know. But here's the thing is I don't care. I'm sick and fucking tired of people trying to become famous by taking the lives of innocent people. Fuck them. Put them down. Put them down. I say put them down before you put a dog down that bites somebody. I would never, I would argue with somebody. Wait a second. Why did the dog bite that person? I would argue that. I would argue in the dog's defense. But for some reason, we live in a society where it's like, okay, well, just kill the dog. No. No. But I say kill the motherfucker that wants to fucking shoot people just because they're pissed off at life and life didn't go their way. Guns aren't going anywhere. Gun control, not the issue. Gun control is not the issue. Guns aren't going anywhere. You outlaw guns. There's so many guns on the planet that outlawing guns is only going to allow outlaws to have guns. I say arm the good people. And I say the good people have the freedom to shoot down a motherfucker that is trying to destroy lives. Because I have a right to live in a country where I don't have to worry about that. You, as parents, have the right to not have to worry about your kid going to school and having to do drills. Drills. School shooter drills. Because it's that much of a problem. I say put them the fuck down. You're angry at the world? Too bad. We're all angry at the world. We're all angry at the world. I don't like the way things are going. But you know what? I'm dealing with it in the only way that I know how. Okay? But it's not hurting anyone. All you have to do is turn this off. That's all you have to do. If you don't like what I'm saying, turn it off. It's all you have to do. But I'm pissed off at the world. I'm pissed off at the way things are. But I'm dealing with it in the way that I know how. And I'm not victimizing people in the process. And you know what's funny is these cowards, they all do the same thing, right? They have their blogs and they do the same thing that I'm doing, right? But not enough people are listening. Maybe they're just not interesting enough. Hey, guess what? Life sucks. Sometimes you're just not an interesting person. It's okay to not be an interesting person. Who gives a shit? It's okay to not be an interesting person. Accept the fact that you're not an interesting person and nobody gives a fuck what you have to say. That doesn't give you the right to walk into a school and start shooting innocent people. I say put them the fuck down. Once you make that choice, that you think that you and your need for attention is more important than someone's life, their dreams, their future, you deserve to die. You don't get to be here with us. Fuck the trials and fuck the well, does he deserve the death penalty or does he deserve life in prison? Fuck all that. Shoot him in the fucking head. That's what I say. Shoot him in the fucking head. Cherry has joined us. Welcome, Cherry. No, I mean, you know, I get you censoring yourself. What is it, Railvin? Uh, you know, in the whole Black Lives Matter movement, I understand it. I'm not going to get into the politics of that, whatever, because Black lives do matter. In my opinion, this is raw, clear here, guys. No holds barred here. I'm going to talk about things that are not okay to talk about on YouTube, apparently. But I'm going to do it anyway, because fuck it. I'm in that mood. School shootings kind of do that to me. And yes, Black lives do matter. And I have no problem with, as a matter of fact, I think it's to a certain degree very necessary to express the fact that Black lives matter. I understand the movement and what's behind the movement. I get that. And then there's the argument that all lives matter. No. As far as all races go, yes. But all lives don't matter to me. If you're somebody who doesn't give a fuck about other people's lives, your life doesn't matter to me. That person who walked into a school, every asshole that decides to plan and do all this shit to make some sort of statement and walk into a school. It's always a school too, but they walk into a school and decide they decide that for some reason the people in that school, their lives don't matter. Well, that person's life does not matter to me. I say put them the fuck down. I say put them down. Well, I mean, you brought it up. Railvin, you brought it up. So, you know. And you got me talking about Black Lives Matter, which nobody does. Everybody's too scared to talk about it. Well, you know what? I'm not too scared to talk about it. Black lives have always mattered to me. All lives have always mattered to me. And I'm not saying all lives matter versus Black Lives Matter. That's not what I'm doing here. I'm saying I totally get the whole Black Lives Matter thing because it's necessary. It's absolutely necessary. Somebody had to say it. There had to be a movement at some point. Because racism is still a thing. It's still a thing. As much as we try to deny it, just because you're not a racist, it doesn't mean that racism is not out there. Because it absolutely is. And it's a serious problem. And I'm one of those first people. I'm like, well, you know, I'm not a racist. I don't understand how people cannot be, you know, I don't understand how people can still be racist out there, like in this day and age. But you know what? It's still a thing. It's still a major problem. But I'm not in the position to think that we should defund the police because they have poor judgment sometimes. You know, I mean, that's not I'm not there. Because yeah, that's one problem. Absolutely, that's one problem. But here we are in the true crime community, right? And we're seeing little kids that get murdered, little kids that get SA'd. And who's gonna stand up for them? Who's gonna fight for them if you defund the police over one issue? Now, I'm not trying to minimize that issue. I'm saying the focus should be on that issue. That's what I'm saying. And I'll do everything that I can to stand up for that issue. I'll do everything that I can to speak up on that issue if it's necessary. Absolutely. And it's necessary. It's necessary for so many of us to speak up on this. But I'm not about to defund the police, you know, and shout that bullshit, because I count on the police to solve these crimes and to protect our kids. I count on the police to shoot the fucker in the head who walked into a goddamn school and shot up a bunch of kids. Red Sox fan, I agree with you. Anyone who harms innocent kids and animals needs to be gone, and the elderly. I agree with you. You know what's really funny about that? Some of you guys are going to get really mad at me about this. Some of you guys are going to get really mad at me about this. That's actually the core. That's actually the core of Satanism. Did you know that? Death to anybody who harms children, animals, or the elderly. That's actually the core of Satanism. And I'm not a Satanist. I'm not exactly a Christian either, but I'm definitely not a Satanist. But that's something about that religion that I do agree with. I say kill them all. Fuck them. Anybody who hurts kids, anybody who hurts animals, anybody who hurts the elderly, I say fucking put them down. Because you're not, if you, I don't know what it's like to be one of those people. I don't. I can't relate. But I feel as though you can't I can't personally relate to somebody who wants to do these things to a child or to an animal or to an elderly person. I can't relate. I don't understand. I can't empathize with them. I don't understand why they would want to do that. So I say, I fuck them. Put them down. Put them down. No, yeah, and most good people would. You know what? And I'm not a killer. You know what I mean? I'm not a killer. I sit there and I think about, oh well, yeah, I would do this and I would do. I wouldn't do fucking none of that shit. I'm not a fucking tough guy. You know, I don't fucking know. But do I give a fuck? Do I give a fuck if anybody who's willing to hurt a child, an animal, or an elderly person? Uh, do I give a fuck if they see another day? No. No, I don't. Do I give a fuck if they have a fair trial? Nope. No, I don't. Now, I mean, the justice system is in place because it needs to be. And so I'm glad that they do get a fair trial. Like this Darrell Brooks guy. We all know he's guilty, and we're all pissed off. We're all so pissed off having to sit there and watch this dude fucking manipulate the system and drag his shit on. And we have to watch these people who went to school for their whole lives, man. Think about that. Like that's like 8 years of college to be a lawyer, much less a judge, right? 8 years of college. Dude, I couldn't even fucking finish high school. 8 years of college. And they have to sit there and stomach this bullshit. Blue Moon, yeah, I agree. Yeah, who's shaking babies, Lauren B? You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck is shaking babies, dude? Like, when I see people who like beat their fucking puppy dogs because the puppy pissed on the floor, it's like walk the fucking dog and teach the dog to not piss or shit in the house. You don't do it by beating them. You walk them. You take them outside. You make them comfortable with pissing and shitting outside. That's how you handle that. That's how you fix that. You don't smack them and go, oh, look what you did. They don't know. You're going to beat a dog for being a dog? The fuck is wrong with you? So you're going to shake a baby because the baby's crying and they can't talk? They need something and they don't know how to verbally express yet what they need. So you shake them. You don't know if that baby's colicky. You don't know anything. What you do is you try to meet that child's needs. As a loving, caring parent, what you do is you try to meet that child's needs. You don't shake a baby because they won't stop crying. You try to figure out what that baby is crying about. Fucking people. Fucking people. It's simple. Like, it's not easy. Don't get me wrong. It's not easy. Being a parent is scary as fuck. But you don't shake your baby because you couldn't get him to stop crying. You try to find out. You take him to the doctor if you have to. You do whatever you have to do to try to find out why they're crying. But you don't shake them. What's the baby going to do? Break? You know what I mean? And I mean break in the sense of like, are they gonna break like a suspect in an interrogation room? They're gonna all of a sudden start talking because you shook them enough? That's your logic? I don't know what you want. Shake, 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 shake. And then the baby all of a sudden starts talking like fucking Einstein. No, dude. Use your fucking head. Try to figure out what the baby needs. It's the same with your puppy dog. It's the same with your kitten. Dude, I remember, I was allergic to cats my whole life, man. I'll tell you guys a little story about Clyde. I was allergic to cats my whole life. I would get, like, my eyes would get puffed up red. I'd rub them, I'd sneeze, like hysterically sneeze constantly around cats. And then I was in this point. This is after the whole SWAT team incident, right? And everything happened as a result of that, right? That SWAT team incident, like everything went downhill. I ended up like homeless, and then I found a little place that I could, like, it was basically a room after I got a job, and I just kind of built myself up from there, right? And I had this girlfriend, and well, we had already broken up. But she was very sympathetic towards me because I didn't have anyone. And without her little bit of support, I wouldn't have made it. And I was so grateful to her. That was the first time that I really, like, actually remember, like, having real gratitude towards somebody else. And I was so grateful to her because she, like, when we were together, she had this cat, and she comes over to my little place after all this stuff happens. And she comes over to my little place, and we're already broken up, but I cared about her still very much. And she's like, I'm freaking out. And I'm like, why? And she says, well, I'm running out of money, and I got to move in with my dad, but I can't take my cat with me. And I said, well, bring the cat here, I'll take care of the cat, and the cat's name was Molly. And I said, I'll take care of Molly, and you just come see her whenever you want. You know what I mean? I don't have a lot of money, so you might have to bring food and shit once in a while, but bring Molly here, and I'll take care of her, and at least you don't totally lose the cat. And she's like, all right. And bless her heart, she's she's a little bit of an airhead, and she brings the cat over, and she brings the travel kennel for the cat over, but she doesn't put Molly in the travel kennel, because Molly apparently doesn't like being in the travel kennel, but that's what it's for. So when she gets to my place, I see the travel kennel through the car window, and I go to open the door, assuming that the cat's in the travel kennel. And I open the door, and Jen freaks out, and she says, oh my God, no, don't open the door. but it's too late. I open the door. The cat runs out. Molly just takes off. And I'm like, shit. So Molly takes off, and we go all around the neighborhood looking for Molly. And we're following her. She's kind of like looking at us and taunting us, and then going, as soon as we get close, she takes off a little bit more. You know what I mean? And then we follow her to the backyard of an old folks home, right? And the only way to get to the backyard for us is to go through the front. And we walk in, we say, hey, listen, our cat ran away and we're trying to get the cat back, blah, 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 blah. They say, sure, if you want to go to the backyard and look for the cat, good luck with that. And she kind of laughed at us. She was like, good luck with that. And then we we get to the backyard of this place, and there's a bunch of old people, of course, but it's a ocean of cats. I mean, an ocean of cats. It was insane. And we see, and this is after chasing Molly all over the neighborhood, and then, we see her like on the fence of the backyard and then takes off. And then I'm just like, dude, Molly does not want to be caught. Like she knows that she's an outside cat anyway, right? But I'm like, I tell Jen, I'm like, she knows that you can't be with her. She doesn't want to be with me. She's an outside cat. She'll be okay. And she's crying and she's upset, and I don't blame her. This is a big goodbye for her. She's had that cat forever. And then there's this little kitten, this tiny little kitten, right? With these huge eyes. And he's the furriest thing you've ever seen in your life. He's just a ball of fur, right? And he's looking up at me, and he's, meowing and meowing and meowing and meowing. And he's just on my heel everywhere I walk, right? Now Wiccans will refer to a cat like this as they're familiar, I believe it is the term. If I believed in Wicca, which I don't necessarily, but if I were a Wiccan, Clyde would have absolutely been my familiar. Now he was just on my heels the whole time, and I looked at Jen and I was just like, listen, Molly doesn't want to be found. Molly's good. But I'm not leaving this place without this cat. And he didn't have a name yet. I named him later, but he didn't have a name yet. And I brought him home. I don't know anything about cats. Remember, I was allergic to cats my whole life. Like I still pet them and shit, and I would always get these allergic reactions all the time, all my life. I'd go to people's houses and they'd have cats, and and I'd pet them, and I'd fucking end up with these crazy allergy attacks. But I bring Clyde home to my little room that I'm renting, and I didn't name him yet, by the way. But he the entire time that I had him, he would meow at the door when I walked out, and he would always be at the door when I walked in, always. And this is from the very moment that I got him. And the very moment that I got him, I had this connection with him where And I didn't know what to name him, and I had the TV on like a random channel, and I remember I stressed myself out so much, like trying to name a band. I would have arguments with my bandmates over a name for a band that I got so tired of trying to think of names that when the reason why I named him Clyde was because the TV just happened to be on that movie with the orangutan and Clint Eastwood, and the Every Which Way But Loose, I think it's called. And so the orangutan's name in the movie was Clyde. So I was just like, listen, your name's Clyde, So I named him Clyde, and I could see that he had balls, so I knew it was a boy, and and the very first time. And this is why I brought this up, by the way, because we were talking about how easy it is to just be patient with animals, right? The very first time he started to pee, I was cuddling with him. He was just a baby kitten. I mean, he could fit in my one hand. He was so adorable. He was so beautiful. And I had him in my hand, and I remember he was just sitting on my chest and whatever. And then he started to pee on me, right? And I had the kitty litter ready. So I ran over and I put him in the kitty litter. I never Googled anything. I never looked anything up. I didn't know anything about cats. I just empathized with this little creature. And I ran him over to the kitty litter, and I rubbed his paws in the kitty litter while he peed the rest of his pee. Some of it was on my chest. The rest of it was in this kitty litter. And I rubbed his paws in the kitty litter. And from that moment on, he never did anything outside the kitty litter. Never once. He was perfect. Clyde was the perfect cat. Totally affectionate. I took video footage of him like eating. I would share my ramen noodles with him, he was my best friend for like ever. And then years later, I hit another rock bottom, and I gave him to my mom, and my mom was allergic to cats my whole life, but she gave him to another family. And now I'm in a place where like I could totally take him back because Clyde is still alive. He's still good, but another family loves him very much, and I just don't have the heart to take him back. I would, I would, in a second, because I miss him so much. But simply just because I was genuinely empathetic with this little animal, I didn't have problems with him. Simply just because I was empathetic with this tiny little creature, I didn't have a problem with him. He was never a problem. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like anything that went wrong with this cat, it was my fault. Like he got older. I didn't have him neutered. He pissed on everything. I would get into my friends' cars and they'd be like, dude, you fucking stink because I smelled like cat piss because of Clyde. But that was not his fault. That was my fault because I didn't get him fixed. I finally got him fixed, but it was nothing that he ever did that was wrong was ever his fault. Ever. So when you take a baby and shake that baby, in my opinion, you deserve to be put the fuck down. When you beat an animal because it doesn't do what you want it to do, you deserve to be put the fuck down. Period. It's your responsibility. You're the human. You're the evolved species, right? It's your responsibility. And if you're in charge of another human, well, be the more responsible human. It's not that you're an evolved species over that other human. You're both human, but you're the adult. You're the adult. You don't shake babies, dude. You don't beat animals because they piss or shit on the floor. They pissed or shit on the floor because you didn't provide a litter box or you didn't walk them. Period. It's that simple. It's that simple. You walk into a school or any place and start shooting people, you deserve to get shot. I'm past the point where I want to understand why you do what you do. I'm so past that. I'm so past that. You deserve to die. If you don't care about anyone else's life and what their future is and what they want to do with their lives, if you can't relate and it's all about you, and you walk into a place where people are just trying to live their everyday life, they're just trying to get through another paycheck, for fuck's sake, to put food on the table, whether it just be for themselves or whether it be for an entire family, you deserve to die. So I call for good people, because guns aren't going anywhere. So I call for good people to arm themselves with guns. And you have the choice. You know, I'm not saying that you're a bad person because you decide not to, but I'm saying the fact of the matter is if you want bad people to be afraid to walk into a place and start shooting people up, well, it's the only thing that's going to matter is if good people, if there's the fear that there's a number of good people out there with guns. Because right now, the common consensus, the general consensus is that bad people have guns out there. There's a majority of bad people over good people with guns out there. I say good people arm themselves. I say let the bad people know that they're outnumbered so that they don't pull this shit, so that they don't have the power anymore. I say take the power away from the bad people with guns. That's what I say. Cowards. And this whole mental health thing, everybody's like, whoa, they just need help. They just need help. Let's do better things with mental health issues. No. No. No, you can't help somebody who doesn't want to be helped. You can't help somebody who thinks that they fucking run the world. Misplaced power, misplaced exactly, Ultra Dark CEO. Fuck their feelings. Grow up. These people think, like, you look at this Darrell Brooks asshole, right? Look at him. So this guy thinks that he runs that courtroom. And when the judge takes the power back, what does he do? He hides, he literally built a fucking fort like a child. He literally built a fort and hid behind it when he no longer had any more power to yell at the judge and verbally abuse the judge because she's a woman. don't be a coward. You know? I say don't be a coward. Yeah, being a coward is not an excuse to hurt people. And I'm sick and fucking tired of this society acting like that's some sort of excuse because they're scared, because they have insecurities. Blah, blah. No, fuck all that. Take control of your shit. Take control. Take control of your life. Cherry said, that's exactly, Cherry. Cherry said, that's not a mental health issue. That's a being a cunt issue. I still believe mental health needs to be looked at before getting to that point. Sure, but it's your responsibility to look into your mental health. It's your responsibility. It's not mine. It's not your fucking neighbor's. It's your responsibility to look into your mental health bullshit. Okay? Everybody's got mental health bullshit. Everybody does. I got him. If you couldn't tell. But you know what? I'm not going, my life wasn't nice. I don't like my life, so I'm going to shoot everybody. I'm not doing that. Nobody in this chat's doing that. The fuck? Yes, it's being a cunt. Don't be a cunt. No, I agree, Catherine 662. Being bullied can't be an excuse anymore. We are all picked on at some point growing up. I was going to Catholic school in the 70s. Yeah, I mean, everybody gets fucking picked, dude. That's part of life. What the fuck are you talking about? And I'm not talking to you, Catherine. I'm saying it's part of fucking life. Anybody who whines about being bullied, like, that's part of life. I'm glad I was bullied. I'm glad I was. I learned from it. You know what I learned? I learned that the world is a shitty, fucked up place. And I can count on nobody but me. Oh, I was bullied. I was bullied. Somebody picked on me. Yeah, well, you know, fucking life's a bummer, dude. Nobody fucking said life was easy. Nobody said fucking that everything was supposed to be everything that we hear nowadays is based on this fucking idea that there's supposed to be this utopia of perfection in life waiting for us down the road. That's not the fucking case. Grow the fuck up. Quit whining. Quit it. It's not going to get easier, people. Fucking spoiler alert. It's not going to get easier. It's not going to get better. It's going to get better based on what you do with your own shit. I promise. Dude, there's no such thing as a successful person in life that's like, well, you know, the world catered to me. I sued everybody for being mean to me, and now the world is better. No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. Every successful person in this fucking planet was like, you know what? I just don't give a fuck what this world hands to me. It's how I handle it. I take whatever fucking comes at me and I fix it to work in my favor. Period. That's it. No successful person has ever become successful from making excuses and whining and bitching. It has never happened. It has never happened. People blow my mind with that shit. Blow my mind with that shit. Like, seriously, what is your bitching and moaning going to do? Like, I love that shit. I love that shit. Like, Dolly Vision and fucking Bullhorn Betty, they stand out there and yell through a fucking bullhorn, and they rile all these people up, and then they leave. You know why? You think it's because they believe they're bullshit? No, they know what they're doing is bullshit. They know it. They know it. They attract people who want to make excuses for the problems in their life, and that's their demographic. People who want to make excuses for the way shit goes in their life and complain. That's what they do. And then these people give them money to validate, like because it validates them in some way. I get to sit home and make excuses and whine and bitch about my life, so I'm going to give you money because you validate what I'm doing. I'm going to give you money to validate the lack of shit that I'm doing with my life. That's what they do. Those are the people they target. That's why I don't feel sorry for any of their supporters. None of them. And meanwhile, they're fucking boning each other in motel rooms. Fucking Betty's begging Dolly. God damn, girl. Damn, you gotta do that shit harder. Do it harder. It don't hurt enough, Betty. Come on, girl. Come on. Come on, Andrea. Let me get it. Let me get it. Give me all that dick. Come on. Make another hole back there. No, they're not going to procreate. It's too late. Thank God. Lindsay Smith's like, I'm gonna pat myself on the back for not procreating. Yeah. I don't regret my son at all. One bit. But for those that made a conscious effort to not have children, kudos. Only because like you're not doing anything better by having kids, by the way. Sorry to all the parents out there, but you haven't done the world any favors by procreating, I promise. You've done yourself favors. That's it. Oh man, I'm gonna lose subs like crazy. I don't give a shit. But yeah, like the folks that I know, like I know couples that are married and they've been married for like ever, and they're like, kids, y'all are stupid. I'm not having fucking kids. Are you crazy? Like, I mean, what good are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, do you really think that you're gonna like create the kid that's gonna like grow up to be a fucking world changer for the better? You know what I mean? Like, are you really like that arrogant to where you think that you're making something that isn't just another fucking addition to the pollution on the planet? Seriously? Like, do you really think of yourself as that fucking important? Do you think your DNA is that good? Get real. Well, Betty and Dolly are probably in that hotel room now. Right, Evil Ash. Thank you, buddy. No, think about that shit. Like, do you really fucking think that you're fucking, I mean, like, your kid is probably a great person. Don't get me wrong. All right. You got kids. Your kids are probably great. But are they doing anything better? Are they doing anything to improve the planet? You know what I mean? Chances are no. I mean, there's a chance. There's the possibility that, you know, but are they inventing something that's going to like evolve us as a species in some way, shape, or form? Or are they just eating more shit and shitting everywhere? Like, are they just eating and then shitting? Is that what they're doing? Like, at the end of the day, you know, I mean, sure, they're working a good job, maybe, and they're making a certain amount of money, but I mean, at the end of the day, like, are they doing anything more significant than shitting 3 times a day? Like, think about it. Think about it. How important is your kid? Like, how significant in the grand scheme of all things, right? How significant is your kid? Seriously. God, see, sweet dreams, you already fucked up. You already fucked up. If your kid's gonna be the next Glare, god damn it. Oh shit. That's bad news. That's bad news. I'm just killing time until this trial comes back. I'm just killing time until this trial comes back. Why are you all assuming that I'm drinking scotch? It's fucking noon. Well, it's like 1:45 now, but Adrian Martin, I hope your son is at least 18 years old. No, and I'm saying, dude, your kids are probably great. Your kids are fucking probably fantastic. All I'm saying is everybody has kids thinking that their kid is going to be like the end all be all and solve the world's problems. And all you're doing is just adding to a fucking sewer. Like right now, think about it. This is dark as fuck right here, what I'm going to say. But right now, because all of you collectively decided to have kids, you're making the search for Quentin Simon that much more difficult. That's a fucking fact. As much as you fucking want to deny that, that is a fucking fact. Because you, in your fucking arrogance, decided to procreate. That search for Quentin Simon is that much more difficult because they have to fucking sift through a landfill of dirty fucking diapers and refused food and gross ass shit because you all decided to procreate. I did too. I'm just saying. That's a fucking hard truth. That is a hard truth. Then I'm having more kids. Ultra dark. That is a hard truth. I'm telling you. Yeah, and Elon Musk's kids are not going to do anything that Elon Musk did. None of them are going to do that. None of them are going to do that. Board meeting. Gotcha. Ultra dark. Gotcha. That's what I'm saying, Lizzie Smith. That's all I'm saying. That is the only point I'm making right now. Like, it's life. I get it. That's what we do. We procreate. I get it. But I'm saying, like, really? Like, what did you procreating really do? In the grand scheme of all things, right? What have you done by procreating? You added to a fucking landfill. That's what you did. You added to a landfill. Diapers. Shit-filled diapers. I'm gonna let you guys discuss in the chat. I gotta walk Panda real quick. Panda's like looking at me and whining. She's pissed. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm back. Sorry, I'm looking at chat here. I realized I pissed a lot of people off by saying what I said. You know, one thing you're always going to get from me is honesty. Sometimes I just like to piss people off as well. So sometimes you're just going to get trolling too. Yeah, I like to troll people. I like to make people pissed off. Make people mad is what it is. Yeah, I don't sing Dixie in here, Evil Ash, dickhead. It doesn't matter what version it is, bro. You can't do that. I mean, I guess you can, but you're a dick for doing it. All right, we're back. Hold on. Now, there's no audio, but and he's in the courtroom. That's interesting. So there's no sound. I know I don't have it muted, so yeah, it's not muted, so I don't know what's going on as far as sound goes. He's got a different shirt though than the other day. I mean, I don't know. I don't have any idea what's going on here. I guess there's something happening to where they can't really discuss, like, I can't believe she let him back in the courtroom. Like, especially after that massive tantrum. So what's the strategy here? Like, what's I mean, I don't know what's happening here at all. I have no idea what's happening here at all. Oh, hold on. Let me find a channel. I'm not going to use Law and Crime because Law and Crime likes to strike people, and I don't fucking like that. Law and Crime can kiss my ass. No, I don't think there's any sound at all. Right now, at least not in the courtroom. So I've got another channel up, but I'm not using Law and Crime because Law and Crime likes to strike people, and Law and Crime can kiss my ass. Fuck Law and Crime. I don't think anybody's talking right now. Dude, this bailiff that's like behind him, this dude kills me. I love that guy. Because I know he wants to put him in a chokehold. Like every second of every day, he wants to put him in a chokehold. I know he does. I can tell. And rightfully so. Like, because he's just like a pain in the ass. Okay, so now everybody's rising except him. He won't rise. Okay. Wow.
All right, we are back on the record. It is
Sorry.
1:01 p.m. State versus Brooks. Appearances are as they were before. I would note I have instructed, and Mr. Brooks is present in this courtroom. Prior to the, I understand your objections noted. If you would like to go back to the other courtroom, sir, you may, but that is a choice that you would be making. I am not requiring you. I'm not forcing you at this time.
So you're not holding me in contempt?
No.
Sir, I am not requiring you or
You have not been held in
forcing
contempt
you
yet.
to go into the other courtroom. It is a new part of the day. I thought it appropriate to have you brought here.
Why?
And only if you forfeit your right by conduct will I put you back in the other room.
So you don't address subject matter jurisdiction for the record? Or are you going to state it on the record?
I'm declining to address that on the record for the reasons I've previously provided to you, not the least of which is I have addressed that by way of a written decision.
And it hasn't been proven for the record.
Your objection
Now-
is noted.
It's not
Can I go back in the other courtroom? 'Cause I'm not finna do
it's
this.
not a creative handle, but you win handle of the
Brooks, I do
day
wanna
simply
go
because I'm a
over
Dusty Rhodes
We don't
fan.
have-
Jury
The
instructions.
American Dream.
I don't
Dust
understand
the
the jury
road.
instructions. I don't understand
Dust
anything
the road.
in these proceedings, and I'm not going to participate in something that I don't understand.
That's your choice, sir.
May I please go back into the other courtroom?
You can, based upon your choice and your request.
Dusty Rhodes
a
was your
finding that he's
grandpa's dog name. That's
forfeiting his
because
right to
your
be
grandpa
present
was
in
a
I didn't
major
forfeit
wrestling
anything.
fan,
I
by the way.
asked.
I understand you've
So I
asked,
didn't-
but
I
I
didn't
feel it's
forfeit
important to
anything.
also make a finding based upon your conduct.
Based upon what conduct? Me asking?
Are you willing to expressly waive that right on the record right now?
I'm not gonna expressively waive anything.
Are you willing to
I'm making
engage in a colloquy regarding your right to be present
I
and
do
a
not.
knowing and intelligent and voluntary waiver of that right?
I am not going to consent to anything that I don't understand, and I will not answer any questions that I don't understand. I'm merely making a request to not be present in these proceedings.
and to be in the other courtroom.
Again, as I've stated numerous times now for the record, I will not answer or comply with anything I do not understand. I'm not making
Which
a
means
voluntary
everything
waiver
because
of
you don't
anything.
understand anything.
Are you willing to be, let me rephrase that. If I have you stay in this courtroom, are you willing to follow the rules of decorum and courtesy?
I do not understand the question you are asking.
You don't
Are you
understand.
willing to
Don't be a dick.
not
Can she just
interrupt
say, don't be a
the
dick? Can she,
proceedings with
is that
disruptive
legal?
behavior?
I do not understand the questions that you are asking.
If I asked you not to be a dick, would you
Given
understand
that he
that?
won't answer the questions directly, for now, he is to remain in this courtroom.
Nice.
I'm requesting to not be in this courtroom.
But you won't you won't answer my questions regarding that, sir.
I did. I told you I don't understand.
That's not answering the question, sir.
You asked me a question, I answered it. I don't understand. How can I answer something that I do not understand, Your Honor?
All right, let me start with the jury
You
instruction.
gonna
There
start
is
with
one I
you gonna
would
start
like
with subject
to.
matter jurisdiction?
No, I've declined that already, sir. I'm not going to address
Under
that
what
further.
law? Under what lawful law?
Sir, please do not interrupt me again with the topic of subject matter jurisdiction, or you run the risk of forfeiting your right to be present in this courtroom.
Then let me go in the other courtroom then.
Are you willing to engage in a discussion about that, sir? I need to make an
This
appropriate
dude,
record.
man.
I just told
come
you that I
on.
don't understand the questions you're asking. What do you want me to do?
I want you to
can't
shut the
answer
fuck
something
up.
I don't understand.
I want you to shut the fuck up.
I believe you're choosing not to answer them,
You can
sir.
believe what you want to believe. I believe that you hiding stuff from the jury. I believe you haven't been impartial or fair. You haven't let me even
Dude,
enter
everything
deeply
that she's
into
hidden
evidence,
from the
which is
jury
my
has
right
been
to
in
do
his
so.
favor.
You're
But
It's
it
right.
been
doesn't
in
matter
his
what we
favor.
believe, Your Honor. I'm merely stating a request to not be present for these proceedings. I cannot answer the
Sir,
questions you are asking me because I
seems to
don't
me
understand them.
You understand your right to be present in the courtroom. Are you telling me you
I don't understand
that right?
anything. Nope. I don't understand. Nope.
Nope.
Then you're going to stay here.
Then
And
you're
And
gonna
under
stay
what
here.
lawful law?
Under the lawful
You
law
can't
that
force me
fucking
to stay
said
somewhere
so.
that I'm making a request not to. You can't make me understand. You can't force me to understand what I don't understand. You can't force that.
I need to address one of the jury instructions, number 315.
So, Your Honor, I'm trying to make a request to not be present in these matters without disrupting the courtroom, as you say that I do, and over talking you, as you state.
Or you could just shut the fuck up.
Merely to not be present for these
Maybe.
proceedings. Obviously, I'm not needed because every decision that's been made here today has been made without my consent. That's clearly telling me that I'm not needed.
Everybody just wants to go home.
I have never consented to anything that's going on here today. I haven't even been allowed to present any evidence, which is something that I stated weeks ago.
See that lady
Weeks.
in the back there with the gray
You
hair?
already knew, Your Honor, that
She's
I wanted
22.
things to present into evidence. I've asked numerous times for that and have been denied.
She aged
And I don't understand
throughout
why,
these proceedings.
why I'm not being able to adequately defend myself.
In your words, you're not being allowed to adequately defend yourself based upon your conduct in this courtroom and throughout these proceedings, and your unwillingness to follow the simple rules of decorum, courtesy, procedure,
Lynn Zander.
rules of evidence. You refused to
She's
answer
22.
a variety of questions this morning when this court went through the or attempted to go through the colloquy with you regarding your right to testify and your right not to testify. And because of that, and based on the case law that I cited this morning, I made a finding that you forfeited your right to present further testimony and evidence through other witnesses, and then you forfeited your right to testify in your behalf. I'm not going to revisit.
Thank God
those,
he
sir.
did that.
I'm not asking you to revisit them, but I'm just they weren't correct.
I understand you will
Because
disagree
I
with
never
that.
consented to it and I never answered something.
I understand
And
you
I
did
just
not
stated
consent
the
to
reason
that.
why I didn't answer because I don't understand. You cannot force me to understand what you're asking me.
Sir, I could not even get through the advisement.
We don't give a
wouldn't
fuck
even
if you
listen.
understand,
Talked over me repeatedly.
Was that from the other courtroom or
Once
in
you've
here?
been given opportunity to
'Cause I've been over
understand,
there
that's all that
all morning.
matters.
To the place that you are requesting to go back to, right?
You sent me into the other courtroom.
You're right, I did.
Right?
Right. So I've been over there all morning.
Yeah.
With an adequate audio and visual.
With an adequate
system
audio
connected
and
to
visual
courtrooms.
system, right?
You're
A functional equivalent
to
of being
your
present in
equivalent
this
to
courtroom.
your equivalent is adequate, but to mine it's not. Seeing as how you always state Illinois versus Allen, you always state that, but it never refers to a fourth option that you refer to. It never
Mr.
refers
Brooks, I'm not
to
going
that.
to debate this with you. If you continue to bring up subject matter jurisdiction, Illinois
I didn't
versus
bring
Allen,
up subject
the
matter
decisions that I
jurisdiction.
made earlier,
I'm trying to figure out why I'm
then
being
you
held in
are
contempt.
frustrating the purposes of this
I'm
hearing
trying to
right
figure out why
now,
I'm being held
which
in
is to
contempt.
finalize the
And
jury
then when
instruction and the verdict forms.
Your Honor, I'm merely trying to understand why when you hold me in contempt,
I never held you in contempt.
She's
You
never held you in
attempted to-
contempt.
you've never attempted to hold me in contempt.
Attempted.
Sir, I'm not going to revisit all of these issues.
When I asked you where you hold
Are
me in
you
contempt,
going
you
to
said civil.
respect the decisions that I've made?
Let's.
They're
by
not-
not interrupting
they're
you?
not
I get that the
decisions,
judge is
I understand that.
attractive,
I
but
can't
let's try to
answer-
keep the comments
You asked me
respectful in the
questions.
chat.
You asked
She has
me
earned
questions.
that respect,
I didn't
not just
answer
as
them
a
based on
lady,
my
but as a
understanding.
human
How can you
being, for
force
fuck's
me to
sake.
understand
She
what
has
you're asking
earned the
me if I
respect
don't?
of not getting
And then you
comments
still make a
that
finding based
are
on that. How is that
minimizing.
lawful law?
Mr. Brooks, I stand behind the record that I've made today.
And that's fine. I'm not
And I'm advising you
arguing
that
with
if
you
you
about what you
continue
rude.
to talk
I'm saying,
over
how
me,
can you do that without my consent?
if you continue to raise issues that I've
That's
already
a violation
addressed,
of my civil rights.
if you continue
my
to
God,
raise these
dude.
issues, sir, and thwart the purpose of this court, which is to finalize the jury instruction and the verdict forms, you will forfeit your right to be present in the courtroom and you will appear from the other courtroom.
Okay.
Absent you, I know
And
you've
I
requested
just, I
to be
just
there.
made a
No, I
request
mean
the
she's
moment you
pretty.
walked in here
She's
to not be
definitely
present for the
attractive. I
proceedings,
just
but yet
I
You
still,
also won't
God, she's
have a
earned
dialogue with
the
me
right
about your
to
understanding
because
of
it's
what that
it's my
means.
Fifth
to
Amendment right.
be
I'm exercising my rights
recognized
that
as
I
much more
reserved
than
from the
just
moment we
that.
walked in here
Is
this
all I'm
morning.
saying.
You can't force that. You can't force me. You can't force me to do anything. Actually,
No, you're right, but I can
This
make certain
poor
findings that
woman.
you forfeit rights
you
that
can't.
you have based upon your
And based on
conduct.
what lawful law, Your Honor?
I've cited the law this
Lawful
morning.
law.
I am moving
Illinois
on.
versus Allen, right?
I am
That
moving
I can
on.
be present from another courtroom.
I
If
need
I
to
forfeit
discuss
my right-
instruction 315.
Your Honor,
because
I don't
believe some
understand.
language needs to be modified based upon the court's earlier ruling today.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
No,
the
she's been
proceedings.
very careful. She's not violated his rights
And
in
I
any
think that
way.
should be stated for the record. If I'm telling you repeatedly, Your Honor, that I don't understand. You
Yeah,
can't force me
SG,
to
like, right?
understand.
Like, I mean, I feel like Judge Judy
That's a violation.
would have
of
got
my-
this
of my
dude a
constitutional
mistrial.
rights to try to
Judge
force
Judy would have
something
went
upon
off on
me.
this fool.
That's coercion, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks, I completely disagree with your characterization. of
Like, her
proceedings
patience
this
is
morning.
necessary.
While it is true that you did not provide consent, you were entirely
didn't.
uncooperative with court this
That's
morning.
because I didn't
and-
understand. I'm explaining why, Your Honor. I'm
and
not
the court
trying to
gave
leave
you
it where it
ample
was at. I'm
opportunity
attempting
to
to
answer the questions.
I'm attempting
So I'm
to
gonna go.
explain myself of why I did not answer. It was because the way that you're making it seem is that I intentionally didn't want to answer, and that's
Mr.
not
Brooks,
fair.
I'm moving on to instruction 315.
And I still don't understand. So how can we even proceed
Mr. Brooks,
if I'm telling
do
you
you
I don't
understand
understand?
what that I'm asking you to be?
No, I
quiet?
don't. No, I
Mr.
don't.
Brooks, please stop
And
interrupting
for the
me.
record, I don't consent to being called that name,
You
Your Honor.
clearly
Oh
hear me,
my
sir, because
God,
if you didn't hear
bro.
me, you
Really?
wouldn't make that statement.
Really?
I
Hearing
know
and
you can hear
understanding
me.
is two different things.
I know you can hear me, sir. I'm asking
Hearing
you
and
to
understanding
stop
is two different
interrupting me.
things. I'm not trying to interrupt you, but you're gonna at some point.
I'm not here to give you a fucking law lesson, buddy.
Of what's going on, and then when I tell you I don't understand, it's gonna be taken as me trying to delay or trying
If
to do
you
this or
stop
trying to do
talking,
that.
I will explain why I'm bringing up instruction 315.
And I'm not gonna understand your explanation.
Well, you can't say that if you haven't heard what I have to say.
Didn't you try to do this earlier before lunch?
But I need to clarify something because 315, which is the instruction that has it's titled defendant elects not to testify. I had it in there. However, that instruction should really only be given if requested by the defendant. There has been no request made. And obviously this court made a finding that he forfeited his right to testify. And absent Mr. Brooks requesting that instruction to be in, I believe it would not be proper for this court to include 315 in the instructions to the jury. Does the state have any position on that?
Your Honor, I did look at the notes that are associated with instruction 315, and I would agree.
Mr. Brooks, do you have any position on whether this court should include instruction 315 in the jury instructions to the jury?
I don't even understand what 315 jury instruction is.
It's
I don't
entitled Defendant Elects Not to Testify. I'll read it for you. It's my notes, meaning my
She's going to read it to you,
materials,
asshole. She's going to read
jury
it.
instruction
to
book
you.
says to be given only if requested by a defendant, and it reads as follows. This is the actual language of the instruction. A defendant in a criminal case has the absolute constitutional right not to testify. The defendant's decision not to testify must not be considered by you in any way and must not influence your verdict in any manner. So my question is, do you want this instruction read or modified in any way?
You just said I got a constitutional right not to testify or to testify. I didn't make either one of those decisions, so I don't understand
The
what
jury
you're asking.
instruction is typically read
Oh my
when
God,
the defendant
dude.
does
Really?
not testify.
Really?
In every other case that I've had, the decision on whether to testify was a decision made by the defendant personally. In this case, the court found that you forfeited your right to testify based upon your conduct. That is the ruling I made this morning.
How did I make that decision though? I didn't.
My
I didn't-
question
Because you
to
acted
you
like a
is,
dipshit.
I never
do
said
you
yes or
want
no.
the jury instructed that your silence must not be considered by them in any way and must not influence their verdict in any manner?
What do you mean my silence? My Fifth Amendment right?
Correct.
Yep.
I'm not hearing a request from you to have the jury
Because I
given
don't.
this
I
instruction.
don't understand why you're asking me the question, Your Honor. I never decided to.
Oh my
or not
God,
to
dude.
testify. I
Like
never
the fact
decided
that she
either way.
fucking like
I
humors
understand
this shit
So how
is
can I
killing
answer
me.
that? I don't
It's
understand.
killing me.
I don't understand.
We are now at the moment where we are discussing whether the jury should receive an instruction specifically on you not testifying, irrespective of the reason for that. I believe I could modify this instruction to simply say a defendant's silence or a defendant not testifying should not be considered by the jury in any way and must not influence their verdict in any manner. Are you making such a request for a modified instruction?
I don't understand the question because I never decided to or not to testify.
I
never
understand.
said.
I understand what you're saying, sir. I
never
really
said.
do. But in light of the court's decision that you forfeited your right to testify,
How did I
do
forfeit
you
something I
want
never
the
said?
jury to be instructed something to the effect of they cannot use your silence, meaning they cannot use you not testifying against you in any way?
I don't understand because I never made a decision not to or to testify.
I'll ask you one more time, and if you do not answer with a yes or no, I will take your answer of not answering as you are not making a request for a modified instruction.
How can you do that?
Do
Your
you
Honor?
want this court, sir, to instruct the jury in any way regarding you not testifying in this case?
I don't understand the question.
All right, then based
I don't
upon there has
understand.
not been an express
Yo, even if you
request
even if
made
you
by Mr.
hate
Brooks to give
me,
either
right?
315
Hit
as
the
its
like just for
in the,
Cherry. Just
standard or
fucking 'cause
pattern
Cherry
jury
is the most
instruction or a
awesome mod
modification,
ever.
As this court has suggested,
Hit the
315
like.
to be taken out of the jury instructions.
How are all these decisions being made without me understanding?
Then I have looked over the verdict forms, and other than really what I would describe as some consistency in how,
I don't know if the
phrases,
jury's present.
whether there's all caps, not all caps.
That's a good
but,
question. I would.
All
what we
caps.
call the sentence
Like the name that was
capitalization
on
for
there,
the
all
charges. For example, I want to be consistent with how I spell out first degree intentional homicide or first degree recklessly.
Okay, thank you,
endangering
Bronze Barbie.
safety.
Appreciate
There
it.
was just sometimes it was capitalized, sometimes it wasn't. So we're looking through all of that to be consistent. I want to make sure the word information is capitalized since that's the charging document, things of that nature. It is my practice, and you should be aware, Mr. Brooks, that I always put the not guilty verdicts on top when I hand all the verdict forms to the jury. And by that, I mean it's by charge.
Yeah,
So
no,
they're collated, if you will.
Danielle,
and the not
good
guilty
point.
followed
Yeah,
by
they
the
were sent
guilty
home way
for
early this
counts
morning,
1
actually.
through
Now that I remember,
76.
there
You
is
said
no
it's
jury
collated.
present.
What do that mean?
Good point.
So I
Thank
put
you.
the not guilty, then the guilty for count 1, followed by the not guilty and the guilty for count 2, and so on and so forth, all the way through the remainder of the counts that are alleged in this case, which in this case total 76.
I don't understand.
Nobody gives a fuck if you understand.
I looked at the special questions
Will you
that
answer
are
that, Your
on the
Honor?
guilty verdicts only. They did appear to be proper. Again, just some grammatical things, but I believe those are all accurate.
Can I
I'll
go to
turn
the other courtroom?
state.
Since you don't have to answer any questions, but I have to answer all, can I just go to the other courtroom? Why not?
Because I'm in control, motherfucker,
I
not
keep
you.
telling you I don't understand these proceedings, and you just keep running right over my rights, like you don't even hear me saying anything.
Attorney Basie, are you handling the verdict forms? Go ahead.
Can I go to the other courtroom, please?
Nope.
Are you waiving your right to be present in this courtroom?
I'm not waiving anything.
Then the answer is no.
I'm making
The
a
answer
request.
is no, bitch.
Then how's it? So what? You gonna try to force me to interrupt and do all this so you
I'm
can
not
make the
forcing you,
record?
sir. I'd
and
like
make
you
it
to
seem
be-
Oh,
like
okay.
I
So it's
forfeited
her
something
forcing
that
you to
I
be
came in
disruptive.
here
That's what
as
you're
soon as we
saying?
got on the record and made a request to not be present for these proceedings. But when I'm making a request to avoid the drama and all that,
Sir, the only one with the drama is
Um,
you.
it's you too.
Just
You're
for
the
the
big
record,
contributor to the
people,
whole thing.
fuckwit
Mr. Brooks,
is not
I have
a
to
legal
preside over
term.
this case.
Yeah,
For the
and you
record.
haven't been impartial or fair yet.
Mr. Brooks, I have a question to the state. I ask that you not interrupt, and then
It's not about me
response.
interrupting. It's about me attempting to understand. I've been saying that since we came in here.
Mr. Brooks, I
You
will
can't force
respond
me
as
to
follows to
understand.
that. You waived your right to counsel.
I didn't waive my right to no counsel. I
You
gave you the
waived your
contract.
right.
I did not. And you won't sit here and say that for the record because that is not
No,
what
you
happened.
have.
But
you
she's
are
saying everything for
incorrect.
the
So we don't
record.
have the do we have the
In your-
paperwork?
Everything she's saying is for the record.
Because I believe that I gave you the paperwork back that
Mr. Brooks, you very
I gave it to you altered.
clearly
Twat waffle
It did not
is,
waive.
however,
have been
a legal
presenting
term, by the
a
way,
nuanced
people.
argument
Okay.
regarding
That
the
is
right
not
to
true.
counsel.
I'm not an attorney, but
versus the
twat
right
waffle
to
is
assistance of
definitely
counsel.
a legal
That's a
term.
pretty sophisticated
for the record.
argument. That's why I believe you fully understand what's
I
going
don't.
on in this courtroom.
I don't fully
I
understand.
disagree with your
I
characterization
disagree with your
of the
characteristics.
right to counsel.
You know that you accepted
You
the way that I
waived
gave it to
The
you.
entirety.
So you shouldn't have did that if
Twat
you
waffle.
had questions of me not understanding.
I don't have any questions
Blue
whatsoever.
You
twat
definitely
waffle.
do, because I'm telling you right now I don't understand, and you still won't even acknowledge the fact that I'm saying in open court on the record that I don't understand something. I haven't waived anything. You made decisions today
Look at his eyes.
that I didn't consent to,
Look at his eyes.
that I explained I did not answer because I didn't understand, which is my right to say that.
Right, Mr. Brooks, you
It's
are
also my Fifth
interfering with
Amendment
the
right to
proper
be
and
silent.
orderly administration of these proceedings. I understand that you disagree with the decisions that I have made, but you aren't respectful of the decisions. You keep wanting to debate them and argue them. That is not the proper legal recourse at this time. I have asked you if you're willing to waive your right to be present. You indicated you're not.
Because
And
of
yet
the way
you
you
continue
put it.
to
You said
interrupt.
waive. I'm not waiving anything.
Then that's why you're here until I make a finding that you, by your conduct, are forfeiting your right to be present.
Well, make the finding and kick me out. Make the finding and hold me in contempt, which is what you waiting to do anyway. That's why that courtroom been set up the
No,
way it has
no.
for the whole time, because at some point it's anticipated that I will be over there. Which is not impartial and which is
You're
biased.
not being held in contempt
It's judicial
because she's
misconduct.
not giving into your game.
I I've stated from the beginning, sir, that the goals of this trial,
So you reading from
Are
the paper, or
threefold.
are you reading, or are you just citing what you
number
know?
one, sir, is during the evidentiary phase of this was to control the presentation of evidence so as to ensure fairness and reliability of the criminal trial process.
And I offered
That
evidence that you didn't
includes
allow.
developing relevant facts upon which a determination of guilt or innocence can be made, what is sometimes referred to in the case law as the ascertainment of truth. There's an equal but secondary purpose related to efficiency and effectiveness. That has been my repeated use of 906.11 is what that would fall under. There's a third goal of everything that I've done here, and that is the courtesy and decorum in this
Wow.
courtroom, what I've sometimes referred to as civility. Of course, there are other goals as well, including protecting your rights, protecting the record, protecting the jurors.
How have my rights been protected, Your Honor, if I can't even
Oh my
evidence?
God, dude.
With
I
the
can't
court
even make evidence.
decisions, sir,
Yeah, but how can
in
how
in
can I defend myself? if I can't
Dusty
even
Rhodes,
present
yes.
evidence?
Yes.
Sir, you have not been willing to
He's
follow
gonna
the
he's
rules
gonna
of
totally
civility.
object to the guilty
Entire-
verdict.
Do with my
It
evidence.
has
I could have did
everything.
that from the other courtroom too, correct?
Sir, you
If I
By
can be
your
present from the
conduct.
other courtroom, I should be able to present evidence from the other courtroom as well.
and you, by your conduct this morning, sir, are
I'm
not
saying-
willing to
I'm
answer
saying-
the
I'm
most
saying
basic of
totality.
questions
The
about
totality,
whether
Your Honor.
you
The totality.
Have
had
I
a
not
witness
asked?
available.
Have I not asked in fairness?
In the
Have I not asked
totality
who
of
is the evidence?
things,
Have I not asked more than once?
Mr. Brooks, you have not asked to present any evidence.
Yes, I
in a
have.
legally
You told me we weren't at the
cognizable
evidentiary phase.
manner.
How would I know that if you didn't?
How
if you
would
didn't
I
ask
know
me?
that?
Answer the
You,
question.
as your own attorney,
I would
you
have to listen
proceed
and not
at
talk.
your own peril sometimes.
That
Whether
has
you have a
nothing to
full
do with me
understanding of the
presenting
rules of
evidence.
procedure and rules of evidence or not. And
That
I
has
made that
nothing to do with me
abundantly
being able
clear.
to present evidence.
So, Mr. Brooks,
Nothing I
This is your
nothing I
final
presented
warning.
have been able to be admitted into
I am turning
evidence.
to the state for a discussion of the verdict forms. If you interrupt me or them again, then I will make a finding that you forfeited your
Make
right
the
to be
finding.
present,
Make the finding.
and you will appear from the neighboring courtroom.
If
You
I
want me to
make the
appear from the
finding,
neighboring
it's
courtroom?
because
Just
I
let me
made the
go.
finding,
Just let me
not
go.
because
Attorney Basie,
you
go ahead.
Just let me go.
told me to.
I felt that all the verdict forms looked good. I did ask
Man,
your
this is
clerk.
ridiculous.
All right, he's interrupted. He's forfeited his right.
Ignorant.
He's chosen to do that.
He called her
despite
ignorant.
Warning from the court will be
There
in
wasn't
recess
no
until
warning.
this
I'm the one
taken
that asked.
over.
So let's
to the other
make the record
courtroom,
correct.
and we
I'm
have
the one
the
that asked when
audio
we came in here, Your
And
Honor.
video working
I
appropriately.
asked when we came in here to
Madam
be
Clerk,
present
we'll
from the
have
other
to do
court.
it by Zoom because we may have to utilize the share screen in order.
We don't have to utilize no serious screen because I'm not going to participate.
Who's the
in
dude
no
with the
proceedings
trench
that I don't
coat?
understand.
You see that
I
guy?
told you I don't understand.
We're in
a million
recess until
times.
we get the
Why is he
court
wearing a
set.
trench?
No,
You saw that dude?
Here to
Madam
be
Clerk,
present
we'll
from the
have
other
to do it
court.
Who's
by
the dude with
Zoom
the trench
because
coat?
We may have to utilize the share screen in order.
We don't have to utilize no
Look at that dude. That dude scares the shit out of me. Just so you know.
serious screen
Just
because
for the
I'm not
record,
gonna participate.
scares the shit out of me. Oh my God. People. I don't know what's happening here. I mean, what does he think he's going to do? What does he think is going to happen here? I'm pretty sure that he's just stalling. Like, he's just trying to stall. And the judge is onto it, and she's just moving shit along as she needs to move it along. Catherine 662, I don't know, dude. Can Bullhorn Betty be his lawyer? God, that would be fucking even. Like, it would move along still if she was his lawyer. Like, even still, even though she would have no fucking idea what she's doing, even though she would have no fucking idea what to say, like, she would, like, he has a better chance with her as his attorney. That's real. Like, think about that for a second. Let's breathe. Okay. I'm breathing. Now breathe, okay? Calm down. Everybody take a breath. Inhale. Exhale. And imagine Bullhorn Betty as his attorney. Just think about it. Just think about it. In through your nostrils. Out through your mouth. In through your nostrils. Out through your mouth. Yes. Bullhorn Betty as his attorney. It would actually be an improvement. Now, I mean, he doesn't stand a chance. He doesn't stand a chance. There's no chance at all whatsoever, right? None. In through your nose. Out through your mouth. Okay? Okay? Okay. Woosah. Woosah. Listen, Lindsay Smith, Lindsay Smith. I'm not here to be sexy. You understand? I'm here to advocate for Bullhorn Betty being Darrell Brooks' attorney. That's what I'm here to do. Lindsay Smith. Got it? Cherry, don't quit. Don't quit. We need you here. We need Cherry here. Now, did you all like this video because of Cherry? Because you need to like this video because of Cherry. I've said some controversial things, and Cherry's mad at me for some of those things. So you need to like this video just because of Cherry. Do it. Hit the like. Hit the like for Cherry. Look at y'all loving Cherry. Cherry is the backbone of this channel, people. And she hates when I do this, by the way. She's like, you're just a kiss ass. You're a kiss ass. Like, because Cherry's a limey that like is really like a fat dude in grandma's basement. Mom. Give us a spotted dick. Mom, give us some spotted dick. Cherry like spotted dick. Oh my God. God, she's going to be so mad at me after this. I got to deal with her being mad at me. Y'all are fucking terrible. Lindsay. Okay, she's sorry. Correction. Cherry's already very mad at me. Sporty dick. No. Oh, fuck. All right. My whole week is fucked now because Cherry is drinking vodka. God damn it. The world is ending, by the way. When Cherry drinks vodka, it is a natural disaster. Like it's like a hurricane with a typhoon and an earthquake all
Brooks
in
is
one.
now appearing from the other courtroom. Appears he has headphones on. Speaking of headphones, I do need
We're
to
back!
make a correction to the record from this morning. I had made a statement that, given his demeanor, the headphones had been taken off the table by the bailiffs. I was incorrect. Mr. Brooks handed the headphones to the bailiff.
Mr. Brooks was like, take my headphones, please. Take my headphones.
All right, so we are discussing the verdict forms. Go ahead, Attorney Basie, you can complete your record.
All the verdict forms look good. I did notice, and I think it was actually for David and this speed. For count 15, I have a not guilty verdict. I did not have a guilty verdict, but the way that it was on the paper made me believe that something happened, and I think you probably have it with your packet. It just didn't get printed off for me.
Cherry is
Let's
sick,
make sure that
for the
that's
record,
there.
people. Cherry's sick,
Any misspellings
but
of any names?
she also has a cold,
I did not see any.
so you know.
All right. All right, I did.
Remove me.
when
Put me in
we
the other room,
started
Your
up the
Honor.
Video conference.
Put me in the other room.
Mr. Brooks has been muted. I am going to unmute him right now. And I should state again for the record, all of the verdict forms, or at least the drafts, were provided to
Adria
him
Martin, are you
prior to
an
the lunch
attorney?
break. So he would have had an opportunity to review them should he have chosen to do that. Do you have any position on the verdict form, sir?
I wasn't provided with anything, and if I was, I accepted it and returned it for value. And since I'm now in another courtroom, are we going to address subject matter jurisdiction? You have yet to prove it for the record.
Mr. Brooks, you were provided with the verdict forms. What you did with them, I don't know.
Again, I haven't been provided with anything.
They were provided to you prior to lunch, the lunch
I
break.
haven't
They
been
were
with
provided.
anything.
They were provided, you idiot.
Teresa, you had.
It's
the
in one
large
of those
packet
boxes you
verdict
hid
forms.
behind
What were they?
and built
How
a
were they
fort
given
with.
to Mr. Brooks prior to the lunch break? By hand to the bailiff and the bailiff to him. And the bailiffs are confirming that the verdict forms were provided to him on his table. I will remind you once again that I do, it is my
Adria
practice
Martin,
to
that's
put all
too
of the
much.
not guilty verdicts on top of the.
That's too much. You're a nurse
Guilty verdicts
and
in
an
a
attorney.
collated
That's too
fashion.
much.
Again, I saw
But you're
a
welcome
couple
here
of,
on this channel.
just cleaning
Your
up, I would say,
insight
not
is
with
always
the words
welcome.
themselves, but just capitalization of various words within the verdict forms, and I'll make sure that's done. The appropriate counts had and have the appropriate special verdict
What?
questions. Those special verdict questions are only as they relate to guilty verdicts related to the use of a dangerous weapon for counts 1 through 6, the homicide counts, and then 61 through,
Adria, email Cherry.
I believe 67
It would be 7 through
through 67 have that special verdict, and then the hit and run counts have the special question related to, did each of the counts involve the death of a person, and it names the person.
Cherry
So
just
that's
shared the
so those
email.
look to be
Email
all in
Cherry.
order. I've already addressed, going back to the jury instructions 315. We have done a little bit of rearranging some of the order, but the content is there. It is my practice to read through all of the instructions up until the point of closing arguments. And then I stop. Parties are given their opportunity to argue the case to the jury. And then following that, there are what I like to call the closing instructions, or which are still quite lengthy in this case, given that they go through the verdict forms specifically. And then, of course, the alternate jurors would be selected But given,
Am I muted?
no, you're not, you haven't been.
So I got a question about
Of course you do.
the enhancer for use of a dangerous weapon.
I
How's that being charged? Is that under 939.632?
It is in the charging document, sir.
How's that being charged? From my understanding, that the statute reads the increased penalty provided in this section does not apply if possessing, using, or threatening to use a dangerous weapon is an essential
Oh my
element of the
God,
crime charge.
dude.
Without being a,
You're on
without
video
being,
mowing
without
people
the
down with
vehicle,
your
there is
mom's
no crime.
car.
So
You
that would
dipshit.
apply. So how am I charged with?
State one is
Rather-
your argument only as it relates to counts 1 through 6 or others?
Whichever count has the enhancement penalty for use of a dangerous
I
weapon.
think her hair looks good.
Well, that would be all of the intentional homicide charges
I
and
think
all
her
of the
hair
first
looks
degree
great.
recklessly endangering safety charges, so counts 1 through 67.
So 1 through 67.
Correct. I can have the state respond to that.
Yeah, how is the alleged defendant being charged?
So are you asking how are you making a specific
The
request as
alleged
it relates
defendant?
to
The alleged
special
defendant?
verdict
No,
question?
you're the defendant. Not alleged. You're the defendant.
I would say both. Seeing as how I don't understand how. That's why there's the question. Reading the statute.
And
How
which
is
part of
that?
this?
I quit.
I'm sorry. Which
I'm
part of the
done.
statute
I
are you
quit.
referring
I
to?
quit. Fuck.
I believe it's 939.632.
This guy sucks. No, I don't really quit. I'm here.
And your specific argument is what again?
How is that enhancement? How is the alleged defendant charged with that enhancement when reading the statute? It says it. Well, I just read it, so.
I believe you're referring to sub 2, which states the increased penalty provided in this section does not apply if possessing, using, or threatening to use a dangerous weapon is an essential element of the crime charge.
Right. That's what I just read.
Well, what's the state's response?
Using, possessing, or threatening to use a dangerous weapon is not an essential element of either first-degree intentional homicide or first-degree recklessly endangering safety. If it were, it would be one of the elements in the standard jury instructions, and the defendant can see it is not. This is different from a situation like armed robbery, which does require the use or threatened use of a dangerous weapon. So the penalty enhancer is correctly charged for those two types of crimes.
Any final argument on that, sir?
Yes. That's not what the statute is clearly saying. It's clearly stated. It does not apply if possessing, using, or threatening to use a dangerous weapon is an essential element of the crime charge. If there's no vehicle involved, where is the crime? It has to be an essential part of it.
What?
A crime. The alleged defendant is charged with using a vehicle to commit these crimes. If there's no vehicle, where's the crime? So it has to be an essential element of the crime. Otherwise, there's no crime.
Didn't the jury see the
I think it's the
weapon,
essential element.
meaning the vehicle?
If you read in the statute, it's the essential element. You can't just walk up to someone and quote unquote run them over. There has to be something used in order for this
Yeah,
alleged crime
the
to
car
transpire,
that the
and
jury
that
saw,
would
dude.
essentially mean the quote unquote dangerous weapon. So without the quote unquote dangerous weapon, where's the crime? So how can it be charged when it is the essential element of the crime charge?
¿Qué?
Well, sir, I've listened to your argument. I've read the statute. I've looked at the elements for intentional homicide and first degree recklessly endangering safety. Neither one of those crimes have as an element in it use of a vehicle. There are certainly many different ways that both of those statutes can be violated. While it's true that in this particular case, the use of the vehicle is the
Translation. ¿Qué carajo te pasa a ti, chico?
mechanism or instrumentality that's being alleged to have been used, but it's not the same as being an essential element of the crime. I think the armed robbery crime is a good example of when you could not face an enhancer for use of a dangerous weapon because you can't have the crime of armed robbery without the threat or use of a dangerous weapon.
No, they didn't drop those
And
charges
so-
here. Those charges have not been dropped. No.
Crime without the use of the vehicle. It's the same thing.
It's not an essential element of either first degree intentional homicide or first degree recklessly endangering safety. So I'll deny the request to strike the enhancer for those reasons and find that it
This
is
dude is out
properly
of his
before the
fucking
jury for their
mind, bro.
determination.
I respectfully object to that, Your Honor.
Understood. Do you have any other challenges to the verdicts you'd like to raise at this time?
Yeah, would that be, will my objection to that be noted for the record?
It is
Yes, it's noted,
I
you
request
fuck.
a legal reconsideration of your ruling, Your Honor.
denied.
Denied.
May I request
Move on.
a written finding of fact for your ruling, Your Honor?
Fuck.
Denied.
Fuck.
Just for the record, it's my understanding that the verdict forms were put in the garbage by Mr. Brooks and they remain in there. That was provided to me by the bailiff.
You put him
May
in
I
the trash.
May I respectfully request a written judicial finding of facts and conclusion of law for this issue, Your Honor?
You may request it. The request is denied.
May I respectfully
For the
request that
record,
you
may I
shut the fuck up?
respectfully move for interlocutory declaratory appeal on this matter?
This is not the proper court to grant such relief.
For the record, may I move to stay these proceedings until this instant matter is adjudicated by a court of competent jurisdiction
Your request is denied.
based on what law or fact?
You saw how she threw her hair
Your
back on
request is
right
not
then. I
based
was
on
just
law
like,
or fact,
okay. Yeah, I was just like, kind of like,
I just stated,
all right.
I just read
I
a
see.
statute that it came from. My argument was based on a statute, a Wisconsin statute.
Your request is noted. Your objection to the court's finding and determination is noted. I decline to issue any type of written decision or stay pending appeal, noting there is no appeal that has been filed.
May I let the record show that
It didn't, you didn't file shit, asshole.
defend themselves in this matter.
It don't matter what you say. You gotta file
Court's
shit.
already
You gotta
made its
file it.
findings
You gotta
regarding
like,
the
you gotta
forfeiture of right
submit
to
a
testify and
filing,
the
dude.
forfeiture of the right to present additional evidence and testimony. I'm not going to
which was not
revisit the same.
consented- Which was not consented to. I never stated
You
that I
gotta
did or
submit
did
a
not
filing.
want to
Understand.
testify.
I understand.
So how can that decision be made on my behalf when I didn't say either way? What I stated was I didn't understand the questions being answered.
Sir, do you have any other questions or issues regarding the verdict forms?
Your Honor, are you making a judicial determination that you don't have to answer? any
A
questions?
judicial
I'm
determination.
not answering those questions, sir, other than
Are
how
you
I've
not?
already answered them.
Is that a judicial determination?
Sir, every decision I make is a determination. by
Fuck
this
yeah.
court.
Everything
It's
I
a
say is a
judicial
judicial determination. You fuck.
Sir, I will ask you once more. Do you have any other issues?
And I will
To
tell
raise
you once more, I
with-
don't understand the questions that you are asking.
Sir, do you
Wow.
have any other issues to raise with respect to the verdict forms?
I do not understand the questions that you are asking.
He has now
I don't
twice
understand.
not answered the question. I'll ask one last time and specifically advise him that his failure to answer the question will be
Evil
taken by
Ashes,
this court
history,
as
famous
a
burglars.
no. Sir, do you have
Under
any
what law?
I don't
additional?
think I don't think
Under
that
what
the
law of
death
fact
penalty
can
is
you
a
say
thing
no?
there.
When
Sir,
I'm
do
telling
you
I
have
don't
any
understand.
additional
But
issues
maybe,
to raise with respect to the verdict form?
but if
I
it
do
is a
not
thing,
understand the questions
he's
that
getting
you
it.
are asking.
He's getting the death
Right,
penalty.
he has
don't
chosen
understand.
not to answer other than by saying he does not understand the questions. He did not specifically answer with a yes or no. Therefore, this court takes that as he does not have any additional issues
That
to
is-
raise with
That is
respect
incorrect.
to the verdict
incorrect.
form.
It's
That is
incorrect.
incorrect. I stated I don't understand. You can't force me to understand something. Your Honor.
No, but
Did the
we
state have any
we
other-
It is
can.
my, it is
I'm
my
gonna mute him
constitutional right.
momentarily.
It's
Mr.
my
Brooks, I'm
Yeah,
muting you because I'm
right.
moving on
We're
to
gonna
another
shut you the
topic.
fuck up
I understand you
real quick.
disagree
Real quick,
with the
we're gonna
court's
shut you the fuck
rulings,
up.
But you need to respect the rulings with proper etiquette in this courtroom, which you are demonstrating once again you're not willing to follow. So I exercised my ability to press mute. Does the state have any other requests as it relates to the jury instructions? I want to kind of full circle back to that because I do need to approve of them.
I'm just gonna press
We do
mute
not.
on you while
All right, Mr. Brooks,
while
I'll
the
ask you the
adults
same
talk.
question. I will unmute. Do you have any additional requests as it relates to the jury instructions?
Yeah, I have questions related to all of them because I don't understand any of this.
My question was not, do you have questions, but do
And
you have
my
any
answer
requests?
was, and my answer was, I don't understand.
We don't care.
And I've made several requests.
The requests are not related to the jury instructions, which is the
Yeah,
phase of
Catherine
this
662, I
hearing that
agree
this
with you.
court is
I mean, I don't
attempting to
know
conduct
shit
with
about
you
the
and
law.
give you the
Just answer the
opportunity to
question.
fully participate.
I don't know shit about the law,
Mr.
but
Brooks is choosing not
I
to answer my
You
questions.
did not.
I'm
I
gonna
feel like
mute
this is
him
gonna be
momentarily,
studied
sir. I will ask you one more time
for
if you have any
centuries.
requests
For fuck's
as
sake.
it relates to the jury instructions. I then will ask you if
At
you
least
approve
decades.
of the jury instructions. If you do not answer those questions as it relates to the question, do you have any requests as it relates to jury instructions? I will interpret that as a no. And if you do not specifically answer the question about the jury instructions, I will interpret that as your approval. So first question to you is, do you have any, and you're unmuted, do you have any requests at this point as it relates to the jury instructions?
And I just said before, I said I do. I said I don't understand the questions. Of course I have questions if I don't understand.
So do you have any
That's common
requests
sense.
for any additional instructions that are
Yeah,
not included, or to remove any that are included?
Yeah, remove them all until I understand, or add the jury.
Yeah,
instructions that
remove
I have myself.
everything. Right.
What jury instructions
Got
do you
it.
have, sir?
So now you don't know I had jury instructions, and I told you this weeks ago.
What filing are you referring to, sir? If I've overlooked that, I will certainly reconsider, but I'm not
You
aware of a
overlook-
specific jury instruction.
It seems like you overlook a lot, Your Honor.
It
Can you
seems like you
point me to a
overlook a
specific
lot,
filing?
Your Honor.
So you have all my filings on file? Are you saying that you have my filings and they haven't been admitted into evidence?
Oh, my computer's not working.
Oh, not a computer.
Fuck. Oh, she said that out loud and gave him. Oh my God.
Sir, please direct me to the
Just
specific
breathe.
filing that you're referring
Breathe.
to
Breathe.
that has a
You
request
got it. You're a badass. You
related
got
to
it.
jury instructions.
You got it, Judge Darrell.
You just said you was referring to the filings, right? Did you just say that?
That's not what I said.
Didn't you just say what filings?
Cat's Crazy
are
Life. You're
referring to
right.
jury
I agree with
instructions?
you.
Or did you not just say that?
But
Do you have
he
a
already had that
specific
chance.
filing you
He
can
already had
refer
that
the court
chance.
to that relates to jury instructions.
So is your computer working or is it not working?
He tried that
I'm a
already.
little temperamental, but I just can't use my search function. So if you can direct me to a filing, that would be great.
It would also be great for those filings to be admitted into evidence.
It would also be great if I could build a fort and hide so
Sir,
that you can't see me.
Simply filing something with the court does not make it evidence during the evidentiary phase of a trial. There are rules of procedure and rules of evidence that govern that.
And
Oh,
you told
it's
me
not.
to
It was
make
just a
all my
reaction,
comments in writing.
Bellamia. Susie
Sir, I
P.
said if you had a motion, it needed to be put in
All those
writing.
were motions. All those were motions.
Sir, what filing are you referring the court to?
Look through all my motions.
Sir, it's not my job to
It's
advocate on
like
your
fuel,
behalf.
you know,
If you have
like her
something in
going,
particular,
her going, shit, my computer's not working. Just
Sir,
gives
if
him
you have
fuel to
something, a
argue
specific
and
request,
say
now is
more
the
dumb
time to
shit.
make it.
You know, that's why
Well, how about
I
this?
reacted to that.
I don't accept none of those jury instructions. I don't accept any of them. Any of them. And again, I'll tell you, I don't understand. Why do I have to keep saying this?
Not understanding
It's
is
clear
not
that
a
I don't
defense, you idiot.
Your Honor, I can inform the court that.
I'm going to fire my lawyer
jury
so I can
instructions
say I
were
don't
due,
get
I
it.
believe on August 30th. The state submitted.
That's
their
my
proposed
defense.
jury
I'm going to fire
instructions
my
as well as the
lawyer and go,
substantive instructions. And
I
the
don't get
defense
it.
indicated
I don't
that
get
they,
it.
agreed with our filing. So I don't believe that there's ever been a request for any different jury instructions than what have been filed with the court.
So what jury instructions are you referring to, or what document is being referred to on the alleged defendant's behalf? Because as we all know, I didn't obtain the discovery in full until the end of September. So there was documents.
That's
that I didn't
actually a
even know
really good
that
question.
existed.
I don't know that. Let me
Mr. Brooks, one final time. Do you have any
let
specific?
me pause this real quick. Okay. Jen Bird is asking a really good question. Is there a point where the court can force him to get a lawyer? I don't think there is, because it's within his rights to defend himself. And I think that moving up to the Letitia Stock trial, which is going to happen soon, she tried to defend herself, and now she has a court appointed attorney. I don't know. I don't know how that happened, but I feel like the court kind of made that happen more or less in a way. I don't know if they like. I'm not an attorney. I don't know. But I feel like that the reason why I find your question very interesting is because of the Letitia Stock case. Letitia was representing herself, and now she has a court appointed attorney and is probably going. It's probably because the court kind of pushed that to happen. But I don't know what grounds they were able to do that. I'm very curious about that, but I don't think that they can make anybody do anything. I think they can. I don't think they can make anybody do anything. He has the right to defend himself. You can't make him get a lawyer, but there could be loopholes to where they push it.
Specific requests as it relates to the jury instructions, other than your request that they all be struck? Gave you the draft of the jury instructions. I need to mute you because once again, he's debating about things that I think are very clear on the record. This court provided both the state and Mr. Brooks with.
He already had a mental evaluation.
Printout 107 pages long of the jury instructions it was considering in this case. We had
Thank you, Radio
a
Gaga.
discussion
Yes.
this morning. We continued that discussion this afternoon. Prior to breaking for the lunch hour, all of the verdict forms were printed off and provided to both the state and to Mr. Brooks. It is also true that when he was previously represented by counsel, the court had some specific deadlines related to jury instruction
Why is he talking
proposals.
to the bailiff?
And
Like that
the
matters.
state reminded me that there essentially was not an objection raised regarding the proposal and the filing from the state. I had a brief opportunity to look through the record of the inmate communication forms that have been
He
sent
doesn't even
during
give a
this
fuck
trial
about
that
what she's
are on
saying.
file.
His
I haven't seen
headphones are on
anything
his
that
cheeks
references
and not his
jury
ears.
instructions. I'm well aware that he has other filings, but I could not find anything related to jury instructions and any specific request that he is making or made during this case. So for the record, I am approving of the verdicts. I am approving of the jury instructions. And once again, before we break for the day, I will.
Oh God, exercise
sure
is
to
so
provide,
expensive.
The parties with written printouts of both of the documents as they now stand. Then there are a few other issues.
Like
we
I want to
need
eat so bad, but
I
like
go through,
it's become so expensive because your
Attorney Bailey, I
metabolism
think you
speeds
brought
up when you
these up
exercise,
prior to the
and
break. Maybe it was Attorney
I
Alpert.
already ate.
In
I ate
terms of
breakfast, and I'm just like I gotta eat more.
scheduling,
I don't want to do
what
that.
I would consider other housekeeping issues, but go ahead and remind me once again that
I'm not
the
doing
issues
that.
you wanted to bring up.
I'm not doing it.
I think it was the
I gotta lose weight.
alternates, sequestration, and there might have been a third.
Yes, Your Honor. The question is to the sequestration of the jurors once they are excused for deliberations, and should the timing require that, an overnight stay or something along those lines. We wanted to discuss that. We wanted to discuss what the court intended to do with the 3 alternates once they have been selected. It would be our request and position that they should remain in a secure location, separate and apart from anyone
This guy
else,
sucks.
unless and until full deliberations are complete by the 12 selected to decide the case, so that if needed, and in light of the brief COVID history we have on this record, if needed, one of the alternates could slide
The COVID
into,
history.
Position of one of the 12 who are deliberating, if that became necessary. So we wanted to address that, and then we just wanted to address.
I disagree,
generally for
Radio
closing
Gaga. I think
arguments,
he's ready to go. Like I feel like this dude is ready to
turned
go.
by the jury, and then
If they
court's
just
intentions as to the
fucking
rest of the
let
week,
this dude take
should
over the
there
whole
be any,
thing, he's gonna
verdicts
like
determined.
probably screw the whole thing
Sure.
up because he's gonna
Before
be
I address all
emotionally
of those, are there any of those
driven
final type of issues
to take this
sir,
shit
that you
over.
would want the court to address? You have been unmuted, so you can answer that.
like he's pissed. This dude is pissed. Zach is pissed.
Mr. Brooks, do you have any of those final type of questions or issues that you want the court to address? You are unmuted. I am.
I just told you, since nothing I say even matters at this point, I'm just gonna tell the jury what they need to know. I'm just gonna tell them the truth.
Good for you. Attaboy.
Mr. Brooks, you are
That's what I
aware
hope
that
happens.
Your closing arguments
Tell
have to be based
tell
on
the
law and
jury
fact,
what
correct?
you
But they gonna be
think they
based on
need to
whatever I
know.
base them on.
Well, I trust the state will object when appropriate,
Well,
if
It's gonna
appropriate.
be a whole lot of objection then, because I'm gonna tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
You haven't,
Tell
you
it.
haven't allowed, you just been
Tell
making
the
all the
truth.
decisions for me. Even though you know, I told you repeatedly that I don't understand, and you still make decisions based on my behalf without my consent.
That's
Without-
because
I'm
club.
telling you, I don't understand. You
Glooby.
still make
Glooby.
the decision
That's because
determining my life.
he built a fort, you know? I mean, the fort matters.
Are you telling me, sir, that you will refuse to follow the simple rules of decorum, courtesy,
if it ain't-
civility,
no-
the rules of
no-
Wait,
evidence?
for the
and
record,
Don't try to
The
come with
rules
those
of
sweet
procedure?
words.
for the
Don't try
record,
to
are
come
you
with those
telling
sweet
me
words and don't put words in my mouth.
Sir, I am not being slick. I'm trying to
You
preserve the integrity.
You've been slick. You've
All right.
been slick.
All right. I'm going to mute you, sir, since what you are saying is not productive. It is not courteous. It is
Don't get
disrespectful.
mad. Don't get mad.
I need to
Don't
go
get mad,
over
baby
these.
girl.
All right, I'm
You've been
muting
doing
him
so
because I
good.
need to go over these important issues that have been raised.
Don't
by
get
the
mad.
state.
Don't get
So
mad. Don't
as
get
far
mad.
As the alternates, I
Don't
do
let them
think
piss
it
you
is
off.
important to keep the alternates who in a
You
secure
see her
location.
breathing? She's like,
even if that means an
okay.
overnight.
She hears me. She hears me.
um,
She's like, I'm not going to get
unless and
mad.
until
She
verdicts
hears
are
me.
reached in this matter, and I will so instruct the clerk of courts to make those arrangements. We have been doing that all along in any event. As far as selecting the alternates, obviously each of
Hell
the
yeah.
jurors have a number. I intend to have pieces of equal size pieces of paper made, folded up with each of their numbers, put them in the same turnstile bin that we utilized for the selection of jury preemptory strikes by lot, and to simply pull out 3 names. Those will be the alternates, and then or should say not names, the numbers, and then the numbers that are remaining would be those 12 who will deliberate. And so I'll make sure that that's out here for the appropriate time. As I indicated this morning, all of the jurors were provided with some information regarding sequestration. It is the practice of that I've approved in this case that the jurors provide us with certain emergency contact information so that we are able to get a hold of families should there be the need. They're given information regarding sequestration, the purpose of it. If I have not made that a part of the record, I will make sure to get a copy of that filed in this case so that both sides know what was provided to the jurors today before they left. And then I'll also make sure that when the 12 are deliberating, that the 3 who are not are taken to a different jury room with a bailiff, and again, kept in a secure location, but separate from the other 12. In the event one would be needed, we would then take up that issue at that time. But I think it's good practice to have them available if that becomes an issue. As far as timing, I'll first address, I have instructed the jurors to be back at 9 a.m. That's because typically we have a few things to finalize in the morning. So we'll start at 8:30 tomorrow morning. It will also give the parties one final opportunity to read through the many, many pages of jury instructions and verdict forms to just make sure there aren't any other issues that jump off the page or that need to be addressed first thing tomorrow
Hit the
morning.
like for Judge
But then I
Darrell.
do intend to start
Hit the
with
like for Judge
instructing the
Darrell.
jury. This
She's amazing.
case will require a very lengthy time of the court reading off the jury instructions. I do believe it will require me to take some regular breaks, probably every 2 hours, until the jury instructions are read, with perhaps a longer break at the lunch hour. And my best
Just breathe.
guess
Just breathe. You
is
got
that it'll
this.
take
You got
between
this.
5 and 6 hours to fully instruct the jury. That's
Just
based on the 107 pages. Now, some of those pages, though, are after argument. And so that really kind of begs the question is, will the parties get to their closing arguments tomorrow, or will that be done Wednesday morning?
One way or the
Certainly would
fucking
like
other,
to
it's
have
gonna happen Wednesday
The
morning,
parties make
people.
their arguments.
We're gonna wrap this shit up. It's gonna happen. We're gonna wrap this shit up. This motherfucker's going down.
Instructions that we
He's
have
going
thus far.
down.
The packet.
He's going down.
It should be done. Okay.
Smash the like button. Smash it. Smash it for Judge Darrell. She's amazing.
So the instructions
You stalled
that I
this
read
shit
prior
as
to
much
the
as you
parties
can
giving
stall
their
it.
closing
Judge Darrell's not happening. She's not having it.
arguments finishes on page 73. So given that, I believe that the parties will be able to give their closing arguments tomorrow. It just may be, depending on where that takes us,
Tomorrow.
whether the final instructions are given the following morning.
Oh, he doesn't have a defense.
Because that's
Heather Bishop, you
another
give him too much credit.
30 pages.
He doesn't have a
I'd
defense.
like to be able to do it.
He made a
just really
mockery of this
depends on how
whole
late of an
fucking
evening.
justice system.
I'm not opposed to
Fuck
going
this
late,
guy.
but letting the jurors
Bury
go to
him
the hotel
under the
and then
prison.
starting their deliberations in the morning, if that's what needs to be done.
Understood, and we'll be ready. I think from our recollection. it
you'll
took
be
them
ready.
About 2.5 hours to read the preliminary.
He did
instructions,
their job for
69
them.
Pages in length. So if that holds, I think, we reasonably.
As
could be
frustrated as we
closed
all
in
are,
the afternoon,
right?
and it'd probably take you
He
about an
did
hour,
their
hour and a
job
half to read
for
those
them.
30 pages, and we may still be able to wrap up by 4 or 5 o'clock in the courtroom.
I think that's a reasonable time frame. Do you have any estimation on the length of your closing? I'm
Okay, Rochelle, you're
contemplating
not dumb.
Maybe
You're
putting a
not
time
dumb.
restriction for
Okay,
both
that is a
parties. I mean,
very-
we had a solid 15 days.
That is a
of
very valid way of
testimony,
looking
so
at
I'm
this.
mindful that this is not a 30-minute closing.
Well, actually, I'm trying to keep it in the 30 to 45-minute range, just,
Like, we're all dumb when it comes
Not
to the
courtesy
fucking
to
law
the jury.
shit here. None of us are lawyers
highlight the
except for,
important points.
the lawyer.
Do you think it would be reasonable to give the parties each an hour?
There's a
total?
lawyer
That would
in here
reserve
somewhere.
Whatever's left from your initial for your.
For some
annual.
reason, I get lawyers in
Yes.
here that are like,
All right, Mr. Brooks, do you have any
Cool,
position on that? I
you
am
know,
unmuting
but-
you. I would note he takes the headphones on and off throughout. He doesn't have them on. He's looking at a book.
okay. Let's put the headphones on. Thank you, Your Honor. I'm putting my headphones on, Your Honor.
Can't disagree with you there, sir.
What did he say? Hold on.
How many people actually live by it?
With you there,
It's not just a book. It's
book.
I wish you would stop saying book. I'm looking at the Bible. Thank you. It's not just a book. It's the book.
Can't
There you
disagree
go.
with you
There you
sir.
go. Yeah, exactly. The Bible is not just a book. It is the book.
What is this where you
people.
can say you're gonna force somebody not to be
Understand?
able to close the argument?
The Bible is not just a book. It is
If
the
you-
book.
Choose
How
not
is
to
that
give
lawful law?
one,
How's that lawful law?
sir. If you choose not to give
And
one,
there's the
you're not
representative
letting me
of that
finish, and you're
Bible.
mocking me right now, which is incredibly disrespectful once again.
Okay,
You didn't even let me get my sentence out.
You always want to make
Oh my God.
Go ahead. Make your incorrect record. Go
All
ahead.
right, I'll mute him once again because clearly he just wants to be disruptive this afternoon.
Just
But
wants
as
to be
we have been
disruptive. Yeah.
talking about over the course of the last, 10, 15 minutes, talking about the timing of everything tomorrow, even though I have 107 pages of jury instructions, the first 73, I think, deal with what is read prior to closing arguments. That means the parties should be prepared to give their closing arguments tomorrow afternoon. I will do my very best with just one mid-morning break to get through all of these, the first part of the instructions. Then the state will give its closing argument. I'm giving the parties 1 hour each. I think that's reasonable under the circumstances. Whatever the state doesn't use in its initial time of closing arguments, it can reserve for rebuttal. But then following the state, we may need to take a break of some sorts, probably before the defendant goes, just for the jury's sake and the party's sake. We will need a comfort break. But you should be prepared to go tomorrow afternoon. Then the state, if they have any rebuttal, will get up within that time limit. I will myself, and I'll have my clerk make sure we accurately time that. I will read the final instructions, and I'll really leave it in the jury's hands. If they want to start deliberating, that's fine. If it's 7 o'clock at night, I'll probably tell them We're gonna break for the night. They'll be sequestered, but they.
I
will
just
come
want to give
back
her a
and begin
hug.
deliberations in
I
the
seriously
morning.
just want to give her a hug.
That'll be Wednesday.
And just be
morning.
like,
There's-
it's
Now that
okay.
I've really kind of laid that out and thought
It's
about the
okay.
break I will have for closing arguments.
Ah,
with
you
even
poor
my
thing.
107 pages. We can get this done tomorrow. And so that's
We
my
can get it done
expectation.
tomorrow.
So,
Mm.
Mr. Brooks, I'll unmute you, but that is the expectation.
We can
of
get
the
this
court,
done tomorrow.
that Closing arguments will be done tomorrow.
You can't rush me to judgment, or you can't practice law from the bench until.
You can't rush me to judgment. No, we can
Mr.
rush
Brooks, I
these
actually
proceedings,
can, under
though.
all of the rules of procedure, it is my
Okay.
job to make sure there's effective
Okay.
and efficient administration of this trial.
So-
You
And
are-
it's my
I should
job
be
to make
allowed
sure
to-
that you
if
get
that's
an
the case, I
effective,
should be allowed to tell the jury that
fair,
no, which is
and
true, that they have the power. They have the power to nullify law.
you get
They don't-
you
You are
get
absolutely
you-
not allowed to tell the jury that. There's a jury instruction that I will have ready
Sorry, I
to
got
go if
distracted.
you even attempt to raise the issue of jury nullification, sir. You have absolutely no right to raise that.
Nope.
That is
Hold on,
clear
I
under the
can-
law.
I can raise what I want to raise.
You have the right
You can't-
to a
you added
speedy
these
trial,
at the last
dude.
minute.
A
You should've never
speedy
approved them
trial.
because I never
I'm
approved-
providing you with that.
I told you I didn't understand them at all whatsoever, and you still passed it.
Sir, if you understand jury nullification, you understand jury instructions. It's clear to me
Man, I
you've
don't
done your
care what
homework.
you talking about. I don't care what you talking about. I'm gonna let them know that they can nullify any law they don't agree with, which is my right.
It is not your
Now,
right
say
to do
it's
that.
not. Say that it's not.
It is
Show me
not
where
your
it's at.
right to raise
Show
jury
me.
I
nullification.
love that all of this is on record. I love that all of this is on
All
record.
right, I'm gonna mute
I
him
love
once
it.
again. He's starting to raise his voice. He's starting to hit his hands on the table. It's very clear to this court that it's going to be a challenge tomorrow during his closing arguments. He does not have an
No,
unfettered
he
right to
plans
say
on it. You
whatever he
saw
wants or
his
how he
reaction.
wants. If he is going to be adamant about defying the court's rules, which I will tell him in part what they
He
are today. and I
plans
will
on
work
making a
that
circus
as we
out of the
break and
closing
have a very
arguments.
clear
He plans on
advisement
it.
for him tomorrow morning. He may run the risk of being put in the other courtroom because he'll forfeit.
And he's
by his
muted. Look at him.
conduct,
Look
his
at him.
right
Look
to
at
be
him running
present
his
here.
mouth. Look at him running his
And
mouth.
I will be able then to exercise the mute function. I have to balance, frankly, the fact that he's in custody, that it takes time for this
Judge
jury
Darrell,
to be
get you-
excused. They have to
get you
walk
a-
an entire hallway.
If that's your
behind
thing, get a
me.
steak.
I frankly don't want him
Get a
to look
steak.
worse than what he's
Get
looked,
your
frankly,
man
in
to
front of
massage
this
your
court when
feet.
they haven't been in this courtroom.
You earned
I
it.
need to preserve how he looks
You're
to this
amazing.
jury.
You're amazing.
And I will need a very clear pledge by him that he will follow the rulings that I make as it relates
down.
to the closing
Calm
arguments.
down. It's
He cannot
okay.
raise jury
Calm down.
nullification. He cannot raise facts that are not part of the record. He cannot raise subject matter jurisdiction. He needs to argue the facts based upon his theory, based upon the evidence that's been presented. And those are the bounds.
You're dope
If
as
he's going
fuck.
to-
You're dope as
I
fuck.
can only imagine there may be some objections by the state. If there is an objection, I expect that he will stop and wait for this court to rule on the objection. I expect that if I sustain an objection, that he will honor it. And if he can't pledge to follow these very simple rules of courtesy and decorum that are consistent with the rules of procedure and the rules of evidence,
Simple.
he will be in that other courtroom for his closing.
Fuck
argument,
yeah.
so that I can exercise mute, frankly, to protect how he looks to that jury, because that is the balancing that I am tasked with.
There
tomorrow,
you are.
Is
Yeah.
to ensure that this jury makes a determination based upon the evidence and the law. You do not have a right to talk about sympathy. That's very clear in the case law, whether it's evidence or arguments. The juries, if you read through the jury instructions, sir, you will
Don't
see
have
they
to
are
fucking.
specifically
Nobody gives a
told they
fuck
will
about
not
your
be
sympathy,
swayed
bro.
by sympathy,
Nobody gives
by
a fuck.
prejudice or passion. They are not to be concerned themselves with any penalties. You can't argue penalties. You can't argue jury nullification. You can't argue legal issues that aren't relevant to the elements and the other law that's in these jury instructions.
Calm down. It's
And those are
okay.
the very
Calm
clear
down.
rules that you will need to follow. And like any other time in this trial, if you don't do that, you will forfeit your right to argue your case to the jury.
There you go.
Or forfeit
There
your
you
right
go.
to be present in this courtroom and appear from the other courtroom.
There you go.
And you are squarely put on notice of that.
Squarely
here
put on
today,
notice.
sir.
Motherfucker. I can say
With that,
motherfucker
I
because
think
I'm not a
I've
judge.
addressed all of
Fuck
the issues
you.
the state has asked
Fuck
me
you, motherfucker.
to address. Oh, one other issue, verdict timing. I know we have some time on this. I realize that there are many, many victims.
The judge
who may
has
still
put
be
you
watching
on
the
notice,
proceedings
bitch.
remotely. There may be news media, in fact, that may want to cover the verdicts, and that this jury will take some time due to the sheer volume of counts.
The jury's not going to
case.
take time.
When this court is
The jury's not
advised
going to take
that
time.
verdicts have been
It's
reached,
not going to happen.
I'm
The jury's going to be
contemplating
like,
30 and 60
yeah,
minutes before
yeah, he's
bringing everyone
guilty.
back into the courtroom for the verdicts to be read in open court. And if parties believe I need to wait longer, then
I
let me
think
know,
I think
but
you need to take a minute.
I
I
some of
think
it will
you need to
depend
take
on
a minute.
how- is it
The jury
late at
doesn't,
night?
but
Is
I
it
think you need to
during
take a
the
minute.
day,
Just
are
a
we
minute.
dealing with any kind of traffic
All right.
issues? I realize
Like,
Mr. Brooks
I
has
don't even like
family
feet, but
in
I would give you a
Milwaukee
foot
area that
massage
may want to be
for
here
everything
as well.
you've had to deal with.
Um,
I would. I hate
Even
feet.
if I consider kind of,
But I would
outlying
touch your
areas of
feet.
Waukesha,
I would.
it could be as much as 30 minutes away. So that's my initial thought on that. Any statement from the state on that?
Not on that issue directly, sir. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
It's okay.
I apologize.
Any other issues?
Yes, my other issue as
Fuck.
to verdicts was seating, if you intended to maintain the designated benches for the reasons you just said.
I would intend to keep the seating as is.
Okay, with the
The
reserve.
entire side behind the state.
You can
verdict.
see
Okay,
like
and
the
the other
drink.
side, reserve
Public.
for the first 5 minutes or.
Like you see the judge
Is that
leaning
open
forward.
seating over
She's
there?
like
My
I need a
previous
drink.
or my
That's
rule
her
throughout has
I
been
need a drink
15
face.
Minutes.
See how she's leaning forward?
Um,
She needs a drink.
What I would say is any open seating will open the courtroom. It'll still be open the whole time because we're waiting, right? So it has to be. So
She
any
needs a more
seat
comfortable
that's left
chair
open
and a
in 15
drink.
minutes, victims could
Look at
also
her.
sit on the
Look at her
other
go.
side, if that's what you're asking me.
Yes.
No,
Right.
yeah,
Mr. Brooks, any
totally. Lindsay
further
Smith. Somebody
Topics by you.
fucking landed
No,
that.
you're unmuted.
Amazing woman.
So
And he better appreciate her when she gets home tonight. He better appreciate her.
I don't. How can you deprive me of my constitutional rights? How can you try
Oh
to
my
constitutional
god,
rights?
this fuck.
How?
Sir, you can forfeit a number of constitutional rights by
Ah.
misconduct on your part.
Not if I reserve my rights. You can't let me reserve my rights and then take them from me.
Sir, I direct your attention to Chambers versus Mississippi,
I'm not
Rock
going here
versus
to none of that.
Arkansas, State
because-
versus Anthony, Illinois
did they
versus
reserve their
Allen,
Did they reserve their rights?
the
You
Beneby
can't-
decision.
Oh my
There's a
God,
host
dude.
of case law, sir.
Did they reserve their rights?
All right, sir, you are simply mistaken on that. So I'm muting
She-
him once
she's
again.
over it.
He's not
She's
giving me
over it.
any other issues
She's done.
to address. We are in recess.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry, I had a few
go
other.
ahead.
I'm
You
sorry.
do. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
I just wanted the record to reflect that at about 2:04 PM, your clerk had provided the final version of jury instructions to both the state and to the defense. I watched on video as Deputy Wittig left this courtroom, went over to the other courtroom, handed the final jury instructions to Mr. Brooks, and he immediately turned and dropped them to his left off the side of the table. I can't tell from the video if that's where the trash can is located or not, but I did see that immediate response after he was handed the final jury instructions. Another
Did that
thing,
include the verdicts or just the jury instructions?
Am I out of line if I
Okay,
say
just the jury instructions, but
that
thank you, because I
even-
didn't see that given
even
some of the
though
things
I
was looking at here,
find
so I appreciate that.
those
Uh,
prosecution
Were-
attorneys
were all
completely
jurors or
unattractive
will all jurors then be
physically?
told to report with an
They could get
overnight
it.
bake?
I mean,
That's
I'm just
part of the
saying. I'm just
instructions.
saying.
Okay.
Like,
And
I
you're gonna
would,
make that
I would
available.
absolutely
I'll get
treat them
Warren
the
down
same
here
way as I would
right
the
away,
judge
and I'll make sure that
if
before
they got
Mr. Brooks,
home to deal with
is
that
taken back
shit
to the
that they had to
cell.
deal with.
I see your
I would.
waving. I'll get you in
I
a
would.
second.
They're
That he's provided with that as well,
All right.
and you as well.
And then one final
Like,
thing is
look
the
at this
timing.
dude.
And
Look at
again,
this
I don't
dude.
mean to be disrespectful to Mr. Brooks or anyone involved in this matter.
I'm just
but
saying, like,
should there be any guilty verdicts in this case, would you be intending to proceed to sentencing yet this week or?
like
at a
she
future
deserves
date?
at least a shoulder massage. At
You know, that's
least
a
the one in the
interesting
blue.
question
She
because
deserves at least a shoulder
I don't
massage.
know how
She's a
many
sweet lady.
victims will want to speak.
This poor
If
woman,
we have
for
time,
fuck's
I would
sake,
certainly consider
has put up
that.
with
I mean,
this
I've had
dickhead
this entire week set aside
forever.
Yet, and I have Monday.
I'm gonna
morning,
touch all
but
their
I have
feet.
some other
I
things
would.
Monday afternoon, and
Lindsay
then
Smith,
I am not available
Lynn
the rest of
Say
next week.
Smith.
So it
I
really
would
just
touch all their
depends on the
feet. I would.
timing.
They've all earned it.
I would need
They've
to
all
know
earned it. Even
from
the
both
dude,
parties
even the
whether-
fucking dude.
whether
I'm not
they
even gay.
anticipate
Even the
anyone
dude.
speaking other
I'm
than
gonna
the
fucking
parties
rub his feet.
themselves.
If he lets
Any
me rub his
family
feet, I'll
members-
rub his
Yeah,
feet.
I don't
He
think I need
deserves
a
it. He earned
PSI.
it.
This is a trial. This is not like a guilty plea. So, Mr. Brooks, I'll get to you. I'm unmuting you. Go ahead. Go ahead. You're unmuted.
You're unmuted, you fuck.
Since we're all making records to make you look bad, I think we should state for the record that one of the rights I have.
I would touch his feet. I would. I would touch his feet.
Any unrevealed contract, statute, laws,
All their
rules, or
feet get
information
touched.
used against me under this
If I had my way. Do you
So
guys
how
want your
come-
feet
how
touched?
come
I
that
would.
hasn't been
I would
placed
like
in
form a
evidence?
line.
What law are you?
I would
referring to,
form a
sir?
line. I'd be like,
I'm referring
who's
to my
next?
rights under the Sixth Amendment.
who's next?
And what
My
case law
constitutional
says
right
you have a
under-
right to do exactly what you just said you have a right to do?
The Constitution amended 6.
So that is
Wow.
very general, your statement.
It's very
It's
general.
vague. There's
Idiot.
nothing
So we don't know
specific
what-
you have
what you want?
referenced.
You want-
I'm touching
you want
everybody's
paragraph
feet.
2 Or something like that? Is that what you
I
want?
hate feet.
No, that's
I'm
not what I'm
touching
saying,
everybody's
sir.
feet.
You're making
So
general
Everybody gets
arguments
foot
that aren't
massages.
based in
Everybody.
fact
Yeah.
and are overgeneralizations of what the law requires as well.
I accept for value in return for value any documents in this matter. Since, it might be another record of what I'm doing, since it's always a record of what I'm doing. And I also have the right to ask.
Oh
is this
my
common
God,
law or
bro.
admiralty law? Because judging by the gold eagle on top of the flag, it's some explaining that needs to be
Yes,
done.
sweet dreams.
That is
Even the
military
dude. Even the
tribunal.
dude.
So is this
He gets
common
a
law
foot
court or an
massage.
admiralty law court?
Everybody that's
Mr.
had to
Brooks,
deal
I'm
with this
frankly not
fuck.
going to address these
gets a
nonsense
foot
legal
massage.
theories of yours. I'm muting you. They have been debunked. They're
Dude, like, you could
sovereign
film it.
tactics
You
that
can film
have
it.
no place
I would be
in our
like, dude,
judicial
look,
system.
I'm rubbing feet, bro.
We are
I'm
in
rubbing
recess. I'll see
feet.
everyone tomorrow morning at 8:30. I'll just direct the bailiffs to wait until we have the verdict forms to give. And if it takes us longer than 30 minutes, we'll make sure they're delivered to him in his jail today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, that's it. We can't hear you, dude. We can't hear you. We can't hear you, dude. Can you speak louder, please? Yeah, pull your mask down so we can read your lips, please. Okay. No? All right. Anyways, guys, I love you very much. We will do this again very fucking soon, my friends. Get in line for the feet rub.